behind us. The boys put up a curtain so they could kind of hide the chaos. Oh. Yeah. That was good, Ray. I'll give you that one there.
We got one more super chat before we leave there. Yeah, we want to cover that one.
It's Onto again
Onto.
with 20 Swedish Rand, or sorry, South African Rand. Can we check Vinecoin chart? Is Vine coming back? What's Vine? Oh, I don't even know how to check that. I don't even know where to go. Do you know where to go for that? Vinecoin. Let's do it live over here. Boys, you're okay with waiting a little bit, right? Vine. He wants it. He wants it now. Katina wants to go down. All right, here we go. Let's check. I don't know. It's apparently some coin. Okay. What is this? What kind of time frame are we looking at here, Joey? This is intraday. It looks like. Let's go 1 month. Okay, we're off the lows there on your boy Vinecoin. Let's go 1 year. Okay. Well, there you go. The 1 year is a little bit of better of a look there. I don't know, man. I don't really dig these meme coins. I kind of told you guys that. I'm looking at getting into a different coin than Bitcoin. We were talking about the Solanas and the XRPs, but I don't know how I feel about Vinecoin.
No, man, just whatever you're looking to funnel into those, just buy Bitcoin, man.
It's art. All right, guys. It's been real. The big kahunas are that way. I'll see everybody at the green screen soon.
It's a spicy meatball.
Oh.
You buy no Vinecoin.
The meatballs were spicy, but they weren't. You know, they were. I got a little bit of a.
How were they? Was it? I forgot to ask. Was it?
They were all right. I mean, it was better than the chicken. The sauce had left something to be, you know.
Desired.
What's the word? Desired. Yeah. Desired. Yeah, but it was pretty good. Yeah, welcome back to the midday show. Yeah, the chicken was a little rubbery, but as Neil told me, it took him over an hour to eat the chicken breast or something like that. So
more than an hour.
Yeah. What's up? It does look better without the curtain. Yeah, the curtain I think is more of a sound thing than a view thing. We do plan on having the whole sort of studio done, you know, August-ish, something around there. So it's getting closer and closer, but.
Wait till I show up in a black hoodie with this thing and
it's happening. It's happening. Hopefully August, late August, September, November, something like that. December. But possibly February.
February?
Yeah, I mean it could be also 12 months from now, maybe.
Who knows, man? Then you get to drop the curtain, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa! Look what happened.
Right. Don't look behind the curtains. You might see Ramin poking your head over.
Although you can still see there's a little open spot right behind me. So you can still see the under.
Oh yeah, that's nice. Yeah,
I thought it covered everything, but hey,
that's
now
good.
You know.
That's good. Now people can see what you're doing. I like that.
Look, you've got, man, the ES is still going. The Nasdaq hasn't even gone green yet. Like, here's what's crazy, right? Nvidia's up 0.7 and just getting around move off VWAP. Tesla's up 3.5 and it just bounced VWAP into 306. What else just went? There's something.
You're in Palantir. What's that doing?
Oh, Palantir, nah. Well, Palantir's making a run. I've been in it 3 times. This is the 3rd time off of volume-weighted average price. It's not green yet, but this is the 3rd time off the volume-weighted average price. So I'm trying to think of the things that are leading this rally.
Well, the chip names like AMD, here, I'll tell you.
But it's more that the ES is already green and going, but the Nasdaq has yet to go, despite the strength that we have in some of the chips.
I mean, Tesla's up 3.5, Robinhood, you know, some of the IBIT up 2%, Intel. I mean, just looking over here at this watch list that I have. I don't know if you guys can zoom into this, maybe not, but these are the stocks that I sort of keep on my watch right now. It's AMD, it's Mara up 3, it's the SOX, which is the semis, Tesla up 3.5, Robinhood up 3, BABA, nice to see China right there. I don't have a Chinese graphic. I don't know what the hell I was doing there. Coinbase, we talked about them being red, almost near 52-week highs is Coinbase. Right now, IBIT, DraftKings, Intel up 1.7, Shopify, Marvell, JP Morgan as well. So there's a couple of names that obviously they're on this list because I own those. Nvidia not doing too much, up 0.7 right now. Uber, $97, up 0.1. But then we scroll down, whoopsies, we scroll down to the bottom and let's find out what's going on there. What the heck is going on with Netflix? Yo, Roblox, I know, you're just chilling out, that's fine. We don't have too much of Roblox, unfortunately, left, but that was a good trade from a while ago. Let the runners ride on that one, right? We got most of those out, I think, in the 70s or 80s. But Netflix,
Broadcom,
actually.
Broadcom, that's
we talked, but that's not a problem. I mean, the chip names are still up. Meta might be a problem. They're down 1%. Palantir, as you mentioned, or I mentioned, but you mentioned not red, not green yet. Microsoft 0.4 as well. So there's something here for sure. A little something for everybody, I'd say. At this point.
And then cybersecurity names are weak.
Oh, right.
NW's
the market's flat.
Down 5. I don't
know
why.
5?
Yeah, why is my...
What was the story with
I got to update my quote. My quote board, if I don't trade it, it's usually just probably like stocks that I watch or own. But I need to also, at some point, I probably don't even have CoreWeave and Circle on this, and I certainly don't have CrowdStrike. But I'm pretty sure Crowd is not down 5%.
Yeah, it was. It was down
3.4. So it's PanW down 5%. Cybersecurity not looking all that good, but look, we're getting a rally anyways. It's been steady Eddie up. The bond auction was the 30-year, did nothing. It came as expected, so it didn't really.
There goes.
It didn't really do anything to the rally we're already getting. Nice, strong upward trend. I think we're going green here. And hopefully Palantir can do what Tesla shot through VWAP, like clean, and just went. Like it broke the volume weighted average price, broke that, like the $0.50 break, went right to 06. Palantir's languishing at VWAP, so maybe it's not the one, but it's kind of been working so far. I'm not really sure what's going on with Netflix. I know a lot of people have been asking about that. It could be some rotational, like money going back into some things, all the things that were at the highs, maybe pulling back.
It's not down that much.
It's not down enough that I'm concerned about it, but yeah, it is a bit curious as to why Netflix is down. I don't really have an explanation for anybody out there.
How far it's down?
It's not bad. It's a couple of points, but when you look at it on the daily, like it's pulling back into what, the 50 period here? Maybe in a day or two.
I'm going to use our ruler here.
Nice. I keep forgetting we have that tool. Go to Sean's. That's my thing. Go to Sean's.
Yeah, so I'm just going to put it there. Oh, shoot. Yeah, great tool. I can't see what this says now. I mean, it's not even on the right screen. I mean, it's over. Oh, my gosh. Okay, maybe if I zoom in. No, I still can't see it. All right, well, that's great. But anyways, high to low there. Let's go 1340 down to 1250. So you lost $90 on 1300. So probably down like 6.5 or so percent right there. That's maybe there's another way I can draw this.
I got to put a ticket in.
What if I go this way, up there? Nope, now I can't see it again either. So, okay, so 2-0 fail right there, but I can use eSignal to figure that out. I was just trying to do it on our own platform right here, but you can see that's just a little, how do I move? Oh, what the, I can move this. Yes. 5%, 5.2%. So we were kind of close on that one. So that's what Netflix, you can't see that, but down 5, okay. So I take it back. Our software is undefeatedly good right there. But yeah, so Netflix on a little bit of a pullback there. I wonder about Squid Game. It's over with now, so there's no more. But there was sort of a little tease at the end for possible more stuff coming for that. So we'll see if there's more Squid Game coming through. And then I think that Netflix is a buy. I mean, with NFL just around the corner, they've got more games this year than ever. I still obviously like the WWE angle there. I think part of the problem is with Apple's recent success of F1 that with Brad Pitt, he produced it and obviously stars in it as well. It's been, as I was said a couple weeks ago, I think it was going to be huge. I think it's been really well received. Now Apple bidding for F1 rights. So that should be exciting as well. I read about that right now. But oh boy, it's going right now. It's Nvidia, man, and you try to stop this thing, you cannot. We unfortunately had to battle with it and wound up losing right there as we were in the gym at that point. But that's just as it came in. We had a quick stop through 162. So I told you we were about flat. That put us red-ish, like a negative stock, but we only have 3 trades today, all in the green, and there it goes right back to the upside. And on the midday show, you guys were asking for me to post my trades and that's what we were doing on the midday show, what's up to love to trade, as these guys were all over their stocks, IBIT, PROC, and things like that. I was just sort of sitting here saying, I'm buying the king, and I'm buying more of it. So nice move up there for Nvidia. Look, we're going to talk about everything, man. Banks surging today. We'll talk about why that may be happening. We'll talk about the future earnings coming through. We have Levi Strauss tonight. And the major storyline is, and I know I didn't want to interrupt about that because Sharif and Joe were giving their opinions, but this whole rally has had nothing to do with institutional money. Institutional have had a net sell 9 of the last 10 weeks in this market. So it is all retail buying. And right now, the major storyline here is that JP Morgan predicts $500 billion inflow into the second half of 2025, driven by, and they said over 75% of that will come from retail. So, wow.
ETFs, not the coin.
Right. Oh, yeah, coin. Yeah. So sorry. I was just bringing it up because these guys were talking about it, but they're talking about Bitcoin. So I don't know. Like, I don't know what's driving. I mean, obviously, Schiff and Joe had read some articles. It'd be interesting to find out what's driving Bitcoin. I mean, I think it is probably flows into these ETFs and people getting caught offside a little bit, maybe realizing that they don't have enough in. So what they're doing is trying to get in now. And I even said yesterday,
how much sovereign buying is going?
Nothing wrong with even getting in at all-time highs. And Joe and I were talking with the guy, Alan, over at the desk yesterday. After market, and I stayed back, whatever, and I was talking to the guy, and then Joe showed up, and we were both talking about Bitcoin. I told him, like, I said, there's nothing wrong with even getting some in now. I mean, he doesn't have anything in. I just was like, just Alan, like, if we had all done this 15 years ago, you could have just put in whatever you spend on coffee, and you'd be a millionaire right now. But unfortunately, that's a thing of the past. But IBIT continues to rock and roll right now. I think we'll probably see, I think we'll see 114, if not 115, in the next little bit. So
I like this
today.
move to one. Oh. You mean like today?
Yeah.
Oh, I was sort of thinking.
He's not even up that much today.
I was thinking
what
where the next
IBIT
resistance would be. Like that's what I was gonna.
I mean, IBIT's up what, 1.5%?
Like the next time it does some kind of a reasonable pullback. I didn't mean
pullback.
Today. I was sort of thinking the next actual pullback is going to be closer to 120, like 118, like 17, 18 in here or something like that, and then there might be some kind of a pullback, but like higher highs, higher lows. I think this is a good move. I believe Schiff is ready. I know for sure crypto is going to be on the list. It's just a matter of where. So I'm sure we'll get a chance. Oh, never mind. We'll see what you guys wanted us to talk about.
It's not on? No, it doesn't matter. We'll be talking about it.
No, it doesn't matter. We talk about whatever's on the list, guys. That's fine.
The important thing
I'm
is
just guessing because I thought it would be. That's all. Let's go to Schiff.
Yeah, let's go.
I'll put it on instead of proc new. Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, guys, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The big boys are locked and loaded, and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get those tickers up there is to join Joseph and I on the midday show and get into that chat and vote for your favorite tickers every day. Super easy, $ followed by the 3, 4, or 5-letter ticker. Super easy, and it registers automatically. Here's a look at all 4 major averages. Only one of those 4 boys is negative and barely. It goes by the ticker NQ, down 0.04%, with the ES up nicely 0.4% on the day. And we're continuing to see outperformance in small caps, with the Russell 2000 up nicely here, about 0.8, followed by the Dow a little ahead of 0.2% on the day. So good look for most of these major averages. Tesla, the #1 stock as decided by you guys, up a little lower than 3 1/3% on this headline. Elon Musk announcing that Grok is coming to Tesla vehicles by next week at the latest. Also, guys, he did announce that the robotaxi looking to expand into San Francisco pending regulatory approval.
I'm just going to keep checking my app to see when there's a software update, because then I'm going to get in there and I'm going to ask Grok everything I can about everything and see if he can solve the world.
Do you have a FSD? Or do you?
No, I don't have FSD. I don't want. I want to drive. It's so fun to drive that car.
Well, that's what I was sort of thinking, because I know that my neighbors have said that one of my neighbors, I should say, has a Tesla, and they said the same thing. It's like an enjoyable drive.
I think FSD is kind of cool.
Like,
it's just,
but doesn't use it.
No.
So it's like, he's like, kind of like, what's the point? Because he doesn't want to use it. And I wonder how much how much can you change behaviors of people that love to drive, to have the desire? Because there's a huge portion of people that love a good performance vehicle. Anyways, that's neither here nor there.
FSD is only $100 a month.
It's not that much. That's why I couldn't figure maybe you would have it even.
No, it's not. My kids want me to get it, but we had Tesla marked down today. I mean, we wanted it down there at 298 and change. That was going to be support. We never got that, so then we just had to go with the 304 break. So it was right here on the note today. There it is, Tesla 304 long break. I mean, we have it right there. Robotaxi hype, big breakout. Watch at 304. So it's my #1 stock today. It's the most money I've made on, I think BBAI, I think the other day on that 8 break. What P&L wise, very close. So I know I'm doing things right when, we trade the breakouts, and that's back-to-back big breakouts that we had. We basically made the same amount of money on it. So I'm very, very happy with the fact that I treated and was able to get enough out of this. The same thing on and this is what I mean. Like, I'm making money on an $8 stock and on a $305 or $306 stock right now. But I like Tesla. It's up 3.5%. That news about robotaxi, definitely huge. And yeah, I think it continues to work, man. Robotaxi now going to be rolled out there in some parts of California. And then you have the Grok news. Plus, that when robotaxi and when the news comes out for Tesla and it gets going, there's many, many minions that just hop on board with this thing. This is the biggest and the original cult stock. and people love Tesla. It goes meme crazy. I've sort of coined that with Nvidia, but it's also the same with Tesla. Once it gets going, it's very, very hard. We punched in on that. We reloaded it. Not only did it give you many opportunities down there in this 304. Look how many times. Basically, it gave you like four, in the first 5 minutes, it gave you 5 opportunities to buy the price that we wanted. And it just kept on coming in. We even got long here. This is 303.50, those are the 04s. So it just kept on coming in, and then eventually once it broke, the level we were in, we were out, and then we have not reloaded. So it was just like a one hitter here, quick move to the upside, then all the way back down, Tesla right there, having a problem at 306.50. But I mean, I like this stock. When did they report, actually?
This is exactly where they sold it in the morning as well, by the way.
Yeah.
This 306. So like the initial, when the press up, that opening range, everybody, like that first 10 to 15 minutes, oftentimes, like that'll be, it's not that it's false resistance, but because there's so much early strength, it might not be where the sellers are actually congregating, and then you'll see like a lower high get put in. So I have a ton of respect for usually these levels in here when a stock does this. And that's the, like that 306 area. Look, I think Tesla, I think we're in the early stages of this recovery from, hey, well, what were we talking about this morning? We were talking about Tesla and actual fundamental things regarding Tesla. That's what everyone's talking about. Not a person on this show mentioned anything about the SPAT, and I think on days like that, that means we're looking long on Tesla. And I think when I look back, it's like we were talking about the SPAT stuff still and nothing fundamentally good about Tesla yesterday, and I was still trying to go long it, which I don't like. I only took a VWAP break, and as you just showed, that 306 level looks like it's a bit of a problem, but I think we're just early in this bounce. It never tested 270, which is good. So you're still, like, I don't want to say you're in the pocket with this because it's under the 50 and the 200 period moving average. It's not like it's turned bullish yet, but the little bleed that we've just been in, let's go to a 15 to make this point a little bit better. The little bleed that we've just been in has been resulting in a higher low, and now finally breaking away from this resistance. So the fact that we're creeping up, I think, is a good thing. We still have more gap to fill before we get back into like those teens and 20s, which I think is the next stop. So tomorrow, barring some kind of bad news, I'd still stay short-term bullish on this to make a move into these teens. And speaking of bullish, the chips have been bullish.
HSBC from a hold to buy and a price target at $200, boys, up nicely on the day to the tune of 4 1/5%. Should be mentioned that Goldman Sachs also chiming in today, maintaining their rating and the hold.
Yeah, the $200 price target on AMD. I mean, why not?
Think big. Why not?
Why not? Oh, well, as I always say with these analyst things, when you read an analyst note, why don't they always upfront say time frame? It's just let us know. Like, I'd love to hear what I actually would love is okay, well, what's the level that you would change your mind? Like, it concerns you if it's under this level within 6 months, and I think it can get to this level by a certain time frame. That'd be like my guess. But like $200, that'd be fantastic for it. AMD, great. We've given all the analogies in the world about like whether you want to call it the Pippin to Jordan or the stack. It's not Nvidia, but that doesn't mean it can't have very good runs and good days. And a rising tide lifting all ships is, I think, what's going on here, which is fine. When everyone's rotating back into AI and the chips are good, then AMD can work. It's definitely out of its malaise and downward trend. So I think when it breaks away, stay away from it when it's not doing anything. You have a consolidation day. Whew, that was a good down day. And a consolidation chop day. But when it's breaking away from this little consolidation, that's a time you want to be long. Admittedly, was long Nvidia early. And I went from Nvidia to say, hey, AMD stronger, play it off of VWAP. Did play it the second time off VWAP. But here's the thing. The second time off of VWAP, this thing went 50 cents. And where is it right now? Pulling right back into VWAP. How far away is Nvidia from VWAP? $1? So it's weird. Like early on, this was strong, and then later on, Nvidia is strong, and now AMD's looking a little weaker. So I'm not eager to pull the trigger on this because I'm not seeing the relative strength that it had from the morning is not here anymore. As you're literally seeing it break through the volume weighted average price. I'm going to stay away from dip buying this.
All right, thank you, Scottie Pippen. You could see right here, he's in the Hall of Fame, I think, isn't he? Yeah, he must be. All right, so right here, you know.
50 all time.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, Neil kind of like Pippen over here. All right, I just want to say a shout out to Off in what was your thing here? What's your thing here? Off and Beat with Clint Nelson. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. Remember, I made a joke about how we were going to have that new segment, Tomorrow's Trade Today. And then Joe's like, that's it, I'm stealing it. Tomorrow's trade today was DraftKings. And remember, we talked about that breaking through $43. So thanks for bringing that up, at least. There goes DraftKings. As I just thought about it. I read that note, and then Neil mentioned Pippen over there. So I was like, yeah, there it is. Right there, nice move on DraftKings today. Okay, look, AMD, Neil just talked about it. Let's just move on to SoFi. I don't have any AMD trades. I mean, obviously, I really like the stock. We talked about it. You got to like the leader. Lisa Su continues to impress. You know, every time you hear her or Jensen, like basically any of these major CEOs, man, they know what they're doing. They have a roadmap and a plan. So, you know, obviously on the way down, it was a falling knife, and we coined it advanced money destroyer a hell of a long time ago. Now it is starting to go back up to the upside. It's definitely had some wealth generation here, up almost 100%. From those tariff lows. But I hate looking at those tariff lows because that's kind of like, you know, I think you almost got to look at it from kind of these levels right into here, because once the tariffs hit, we knew that it was going to be a problem for many stocks. And so I don't really want to count that. But anyways, from this 110 to 115 area, still a nice upside move. Whenever you have the 200 and the 50 like this, nice upside play. Let's just go. Let's keep it going here with AMD. I think you can win on this. I won't be here next week. I'm taking off couple week and a half or so. 150 right there, breaking through that level. I think that's going to be, and I hope Obi and Neil will trade it, which I'm sure they will. Breaking through 150 there, that'll be an oh boy trade. So get ready for that next week. AMD through 150.
It's one of those.
Next week's trade today.
Before we go to it, it's one of those trades where you just sort of take it. You know you're going to want it, but if it goes the second time, regardless of the outcome of the first, you got to be willing. You got to be willing to take it the second time too. It's kind of like Tesla. Like the three times it broke 300, it's been like it was like one fantastic, one not good, and then another one fantastic. You kind of just want to do it every single time to get like that's just how it is with these breakouts for day traders. I understand. Like maybe you're on like PDT, you got like you're swinging it, you take it one time and hold it. I get that, but as a day trader, it's like sometimes you just got to let it work. Do it 2 out of 3 times, and if it works 2 out of 3, you're absolutely fine. Something which has been breaking out as well, in addition to everything fintech related, is on the docket.
Ooh, I like this stock.
Yeah.
Keefe, Briette, and Woods maintaining their outperform rating, boys, on SoFi, but boosting that price target up from 9 to 13. Don't forget, SoFi also announced they're going to give you an opportunity to invest in some of these privately held companies like OpenAI and SpaceX, much like Robinhood.
Yeah, and jokes because we make the comparison between SoFi and Robinhood for other reasons around here, which I won't get into them anymore. Like SoFi's done really well. It's just anytime I look at this versus Robinhood, that's where I get this like feeling. But SoFi has been absolutely fantastic. I am not the only thing I had beef with was I just turned to Sean. I'm like, SoFi wasn't really on our watch list this morning or anything, and I'm asking myself. It's like you just need a reason to look at the chart sometimes. Like if we liked SoFi breaking 22 days ago, on Monday I should say, to start the week, then when it gave you the pullback and the consolidation day and then broke away, it's not 20 even, but essentially almost the same kind of setup. Like look at the pre-market and look at the pre-market and then that breakout. And yeah, it's more like 20 and a third, but it's the exact same move with a better and not as deep pullback. So yeah, sometimes it's just a matter of there was so much to look at today, never got to it. But I think SoFi is a runner into the earnings in which I'm skeptical that it will not pull back, regardless of what it does. You tell me a stock that, like, I know we just talked about the April lows being the April lows, but at the same time, like this could literally be up, a triple up by the time it gets to its earnings. I don't know about you, but with the history of this stock, if you're not reading the register and you get a triple up in a few months going in earnings on SoFi, yeah. I mean, I might not because I've already sold it at a worse price, but I'd at least consider it. What I think I'll probably do is sell some covered calls or something. But I think it's a run into the earnings on the 27th, which I still believe is correct. And that's probably a decent time to ring the old Reggie. Yeah, love what they're doing here. And because it's a good time to mention, the other thing which is going to happen next week, actually it's only, what am I talking? It's only Thursday next week. Robinhood could break 100 tomorrow. But,
So what's it at right now?
98. But it could break it this afternoon. Maybe a lower probability. But that's another breakout that, trust me, like everyone's gonna have eyeballs on that. The only thing about the Robinhood break is it did break it once and fail it already. This is the example of you're gonna take it the second time too, right? Because it's already been above 100. But this adjacent name, we'll be looking at that certainly every day into this 100 level.
Yeah, I looked at the account today. It was like, okay, I was up 108% or something on SoFi, and it's just like, I'm just going to not get out. I'm not selling anything. I did sell some at 18, but again, that was 10%. We talked about that live on the show. We're just gonna let it run, man. I mean, we had to hold it against ourselves. If you're up, I don't even remember when I bought it. I have to go back and look, but definitely held it all through all of this. Probably averaged in down here, which is why the price is around $10 where we own the stock. But SoFi continues to go higher. So great trade there. Look, they have that charter, the bank charter from the Golden Pacific acquisition back in February of 2022. I think that SoFi, the fact that they can hold deposits now, it's an all-in-one solution, right? I mean, with student loans, things like that. If this is who holds your student loan, you may bank with them. They have the crypto play as well. I think SoFi continues to work. Again, I like the stock. And I actually think the fact that there is I was just looking up when Tesla reports. Tesla reports in 13 days. So Wednesday, the 23rd again. Today I come back. All right, but that's in the aftermarket. And then SoFi, I'm not looking up when they report. I just want to see. All right, so the short float is nothing on SoFi. So same as it was on Palantir, I think, 2.75%. So not much short float anymore on SoFi, so it's kind of just trading on its own. And the calendar tells me that I think their earnings is a while because we looked it up.
I thought it was the 27th.
Before. Yeah, it's the 29th, it looks like.
Oh,
yeah,
you know what? It's because it's,
Yeah, 3 weeks away. I mean, it's still pretty close, but July 29th, and then October 28th. So again, like the stock. I mean, I don't think you want to sell anything, get in the way of this as it continues to move up. But hey, man, pigs get slaughtered. So you might want to take some profits if you're up at these levels. That's all. And it's a very, very small part. Like if I had as much in this as I do in JP Morgan, and then I would be most likely getting out of more. But this is just one of those plays where we'll wait for it. But what's up at lunch 911? Yeah, lunch was pretty good today. The known as meatballs, we talked about that. We're okay. But,
they were not known as meatballs.
Well, they weren't bad, though. I mean, they were much better than some of the meatballs we've had in the past. I'm waiting for Joe's rating. Oh, Joe just had 14 of them. He's in a coma, he said. He had 6 meatballs. So,
you're in a coma from 6 meatballs? Joe, you're a young.
He's got that itis.
You're a young man. You're not getting the itis over 6 meatballs.
Yeah, he is, man. What do you mean? When you were like 21 years old, you were getting itis, man. All the time.
Yeah, but that's because I'd have like 4 Whoppers and like I was, back.
Yeah, you're unhinged.
I was eating a lot of food. I have a ridiculous metabolism. I still have a decent metabolism, but back when I was young and like running track, I could eat whatever. It was stupidity how much I could eat when I was running track. Like, and I could not put on weight. I was like 152 and eating as many calories as I wanted. It was so much fun. But then again, it's just different when you're
4 Whoppers.
When you're young.
But I didn't get the rating though, Joe. What is the rating on the 7 4s? Wow, that is high, boy. 7-4 for me. For those,
stuff up,
of course, he's making it up. That's the whole point of it. But yeah,
no,
7-4.
It seems not to be a consistency in the.
Well, it's the only meatball I've heard him rate, but. Anyways, okay, 7-4 for Joe on meatballs, so we like that. All right, let's go back over to Sharif and talk about the biggest meatball of the day, NVIDIA.
This is actually kind of funny over here, guys. Goldman finally initiating coverage on NVIDIA. I don't know what the hell they were waiting for, but today they actually initiated coverage on NVIDIA with I can't see the screen, guys. With a buy rating and $185 price target. Keep your eye out on that. NVIDIA nicely up on the day, about 0.5%.
I'll have those kind of things on there. So yeah, look, I didn't miss NVIDIA today, that's for sure. It was on our sticky note, and I mean, it's going to be on there for a minute, but we were trying to get long at 163.25 is what we wrote down. So when it came into that first price level, it just like crushed early, right? I mean, AMD, the market kind of all gave up. And when NVIDIA comes back in, and we were talking about yesterday's closing price right into here, right? And so that's yesterday's close, where this big candle is yesterday's closing price, that's 162.50. But 163.50, 163.25 is what we wrote down. So we were, you know, respecting that. We were able to make some good trades until all of a sudden, this happened, and NVIDIA went from 164 all the way down to 162. We kept on buying the dips, and everything was good. We got our account back to green on NVIDIA. Our account's never been red today, but because Tesla was our first trade. So, but there it came in right there, and then eventually we were out, probably typical of me, 20 to 30% most likely. Averaged it back in there at 162. Once it lost, 162 was out. And then there goes the upside play. We've been long here from time. We do have that 10% mark out again. We got right back up into the pre-market level, so we cashed that out. So that was a big trade for us, about $1 and change there on NVIDIA. I still think it's the king. I really like it. This stock continues to work out, man. $4 trillion market cap. Next up, $5 trillion. Give me December 22nd, $5 trillion.
December 22nd. Give me
5 months.
My birthday. I think next year, but let's just say Boxing Day. Why the 22nd? Something fun about it.
I just made it up. I mean,
I love the 22. I love the number 22. Never mind. I love 22. 22 is my fave.
I mean, I could have used 23 for obvious reasons, but yeah, we'll just go with.
I'm not even gonna say LeBron. Before I'll mention Nvidia for a quick little second, but Palantir. I tried it Palantir is not on the list. I'm just gonna say it now because we just got the execution. I took it multiple times since it broke the downtrend. Once, twice into VWAP, third time off VWAP, never gave more than 30 or 40 pennies. So it was a decent work back up. But the market's at the highs, and this is failing VWAP. Do not want to be fighting this because Palantir hasn't been all that strong. To me, Nvidia was one of those ones that I thought was going to be the one, just continuing it into that all-time high. Bought it there and bought it there. That's where we're going to play it. And once it traded underneath that price, I pivoted to AMD, which was a little bit stronger, and that worked out. And they both would have worked out. So I feel like if I had stayed on Nvidia, it probably would have been about the same outcome. But ultimately, I think in the long term, you can't go wrong with them. But sometimes in the short term, like AMD or something else, some days it might be Marvell. I've seen there's days when Micron has been the jam for the chips, and that's going to be the case. And for myself, because there are options, and AMD, on my list, I had both AMD and NVIDIA. Once this happened, it made sense to me to understand that at least in that moment, go away from that one. This one's bouncing off VWAP and stronger. Just go to the one that's stronger. And it's actually flipped the script now. So I think NVIDIA it's like you're at the point where NVIDIA now looks better. If it does manage to get to the volume weighted average price this afternoon, it's 230, plenty of time, then I think it's the one to go. I guess we're not going to talk about that small capper. We're going to talk about BTC. It's okay to we can go with the list, Sharif. Bitcoin gets talked about no matter what.
All-time highs, Neil. We got to put some respect on Bitcoin's name over here. This is a chart of IBIT, though, breaking into about $65 or thereabout. Fantastic look on the day for Bitcoin. It broke all-time highs yesterday into the afternoon, breaching that $112,000 area. And today, we're above $113,000. Shout out to Peter Schiff.
Yeah, I think he switched up. He's a Bitcoin supporter now, I think, Peter Schiff. Yeah.
But he had.
But I mean, also shout out to Peter Schiff for making more money than all of us on gold.
The guy makes a ton of money. He's done so well on gold. But I think his most recent negative comments had more to do with the overall. I think it was tariffs and the economy, and he says that still can be a problem. Which of course, if you're a gold person, then yeah, you're going to still have that thesis. So I don't think I don't remember the last time he was negative on it. But he has made negative comments about the equity market rally based on tariffs. That's certainly, I know, a position. Only because I read a tweet of it yesterday or something, or I guess what do we call those? A post, probably, an X, whatever. So, anyways, I was not at my desk when we made the all-time high on Bitcoin. So that's essentially the all-time high break. You got to have it, and it broke the all-time high right in here. You can see the candle, and. We'll see if it holds. What I'm looking at now, which is not on this chart, here, there, is are we holding this trend and breaking this consolidation to go back into the upside. So it's not the it's not a trend line from earlier. This is a trend from the all-time high break and consolidation, and then hold on to this trend line, which it's actually breaking now. As I look at it, I was gonna put us. That's not helping this. Sorry, I'm chuckling because I don't know what it sounded like to you guys. One of the reasons we have the curtain there was like it's improving the noise level. That still sounded pretty loud.
Oh yeah, it's not. It's not going to do anything for that
It's affected by that much. But anyways, just to finish the thought, this trend line in here, if we lose it, I think we wait for the volume-weighted average price, which conveniently enough would be buying in front of the previous all-time high, the 112 level if you're following along on Bitcoin. So my stop is going to be under here. I don't know why I'm zoomed out so you can see that, but that's too far. I'll do this so you can see. My stop is under, it's about 64 and a third is where my stop is going to be. And let's play it back into the highs. I don't see why it can't continue to work. Work.
Yeah, work it out. Work. Yeah, so I mean, Bitcoin again, we've talked about it. It's not even up that much. Like, it's easy to get excited about what's up, Randy. It's easy to get excited about it because of where it is right now. But if you look at an IBIT trade, you have, like, we're all excited about it because it's breaking all-time highs. But IBIT's up 1.4%. Like, AMD's up almost triple what that's up, right? So there's lots of love for all kinds of names in this market. And I think that's the best thing about this market is right now is it's kind of like dealer's choice. Whatever you want to trade might be worth it right now, whether or not it is any space, any crypto name moving around, Ethereum moving.
Coin.
We have, Coinbase, well, just everything. Like the chip names are moving, Tesla's moving, Randy's not moving that much. XOM, like some of the oil spaces as well. I mean, the CL, we talked about how well oil's been doing. We'll go over to the August contract again, and we called this bottom at 64 or whatever it was when it was there, 66 was it? Yeah, right into there. This little bottom. It has not like it's a huge move up, but 64.60 now up $2 from there. Ooh. So oil still working out. I don't know exactly what gold is doing. And Peter Schiff hasn't changed his mind at all. The guy's still a gold bear, bull, Bitcoin bear. Again, yeah, I know. I think that's been true for a lot. I mean, people are going to have their opinions, right? But I also think too, Sharif, maybe he got people into gold, right? I mean, gold's been doing real hot fire. Like we had Peter Schiff on here years ago, and you want to talk about a return. We could look at Bitcoin versus gold. I mean, if you go back to that, and if we go back from April of 2024 right here, so gold was at 216, now at 305. So that's almost up 100%. So that's April of 2024. So now let me.
So the two times he was on was.
Go ahead.
It was February 16th, 2022, and then we had him 7 months ago.
Bitcoin.
In 2024.
Yeah, I just want to see.
Either of those times, gold has been fantastic.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, when he's been on, but I just want to see like what this has been doing. So if you bought Bitcoin, you would have bought it at 66,000, gold 210. So 66,000, it's almost, I feel like the math might be similar. 66,000 buying Bitcoin in April of 24, and then you could have bought gold in April of 24 for like
80% versus.
This is 210, 216 versus 305. So this is almost 100%. So gold might be outpacing Bitcoin. I mean,
So what was
what the hell am I doing?
I missed the gold price.
Wait a second. What am I doing?
It was 80% on Bitcoin in that time.
Yeah, there we go. So if we go back here, it'll show. So Bitcoin would be, it didn't do it. Hold on, add. If I'm going to add Bitcoin on here, bear with me. I don't even use this software. I should be pulling down e-signal right there. Okay, so Bitcoin versus USD. So Bitcoin is going to be here versus gold. So there's Bitcoin. If we go back from April, so there it is at 65, right? And then the US dollar, what happened?
Why is it not?
Gold is there. Compare symbol. Okay, GLD. What did I do here? Okay, there it is. Now it's on there. All right, so we're pretty darn close right here. So if we go back to April, this is saying right here that gold is 52% and Bitcoin, the king of the castle, hot dog cannon, 65%. So right there, if you've gotten Bitcoin at that same time, up 65%. And again, that's not even 65% is nice. It's not Nvidia. not Palantir. Nvidia's up 45% or something in since. I can just keep adding all these symbols on here no matter what. All right, let's add Nvidia here and see what's going on there, because Palantir is kind of like picking at straws. Like you can always find names that are going
like Circle's up 300%
right.
a month.
Yeah, like you can always find those little things
right? Yeah.
that are on there. But all right, I think I screwed this up again, so it didn't even add. Maybe I can only do one symbol, but there it is.
You probably have to have a
Bitcoin.
paid
Yeah,
account.
maybe I have to pay an account. But anyways, good movement up there. I still like. I mean, we all like Bitcoin. Bitcoin continues to work out well, and gold is a nice one too. Gold, at least we know we can wear around our neck, and Bitcoin, you kind of just gotta just make one of those medallions up for Bitcoin.
Which you might make out of gold.
And do that, but. Yeah, Nvidia's up 100% since April lows, but that's what I mean. I don't want to pick one particular spot, right? I mean, if we go back here, let's just do it right now. So Nvidia from April of 2024. Here's April of 2024. You could have got Nvidia at $87. So yeah, they're almost all the same. Like $87 right there at April of 2024 for Nvidia, up to 163. That's a double. So Nvidia's outperforming them all, this is up 100% or so since that time. Bitcoin only up 60%, but Nvidia is kind of a separate beast.
What about just the Qs though? Yeah, so like
fine question you may ask. All right, so
I think that's a more fair comparison than Nvidia is.
No, I was just thinking like
Nvidia is Nvidia, like.
Yeah, but Bitcoin's Bitcoin. There's only one Bitcoin.
That's fair. That's fair. But
well, thank you. Yeah, but there it is. Yeah, so Nasdaq is 430 to 555. So Nasdaq is nothing. Nasdaq still nice, but you're adding about 25% on Nasdaq. So yeah, but again, there's so many more people. I mean, we even know half of our audience is not even invested in Bitcoin. Right, so.
But like, how many people would you say in our audience, whether it's the Qs directly or just to say that your portfolio is at least certainly heavily correlated to the Qs to the point that that's what you care about? It's more than 50% easily, whether you own the Qs or not. Yeah. And that's an easy call. And that's true for Canadians. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because, well, it's not like you can have a lot of good tech companies to pick from here. We did we had those CDRs and all that.
Yeah, we have the CDRs here, so you can do it in Canadian dollars. But like, if you're the best Canadian tech company, it's basically a curse because it's just like the bottom's about to fall out. You're gonna turn into Nortel.
What did my wife say?
Or BlackBerry. Those are like the two. It's like you get on top of a sector as a Canadian tech company, and it's just like the kiss of death.
Hey, I have beef with you, man. I wanted to see some pictures of your camping trip.
My wife. Okay, see, here's the thing. When I'm disconnected, when we're camping, I'm horrible. I'm barely taking any pictures. My wife has almost all the pictures. And I messaged her, the other day, I was like, can you just send me some of the stuff that you took?
Queue? Yeah.
But I'll have to get them from her because like I said, I've tried really not to be on my phone when I'm camping. And there's awesome picture moments that I just don't grab. It's bad. It's bad. Oh, but what was I going to say? There was something else. The other day, I meant to do this, and I'll go find them again. Because the other day, I was like, my mom had sent me just some bunch of random back in the day stuff. And some of it's really self-deprecating. So at some point, when I'm not currently talking, I'll go back and find them. Because first of all, I can't believe how they did us, dressing us in the 80s. Just myself and my brother. I'm going to find some of them because she sent a bunch of stuff to me. But you know how it was back then. I remember,
stuff
that you thought was
to the back, we had some one-strapped jean.
Well, I'm talking
about
even younger.
Corduroy, the crisscross stuff. What are those? Overalls.
Oh my goodness, dude.
Jean overalls there. And then didn't we all have those backpacks? They were like they were white or cream colored, and they were cloth based.
I wouldn't actually.
And then we all had those mod robe pants or something like that.
I'm talking about when we were little.
Oh, little. You're talking little.
I gotta at my dad here because I have a problem.
Fine. Yeah, do it.
So here, this is what was getting me. This was like how you dress up for a family photo.
Yes. And now they don't even do family photos like that.
First of all, nobody does family photos like any suit.
Man, too bad you didn't get your looks from your dad. Look at that handsome
This is what I'm talking about. You see my gray hair.
You're like the Runt.
You see all the gray hair and my hair is thinning and I don't grow a mustache. Yo, Pops, man, what's up with that?
Phil is killing
I'm trying to figure out, look
at those glasses he was wearing.
That's my brother, Len. That's my mom. Love you, Mom. But she was sending a bunch of this stuff. And there's a better one. Because one of my favorite pictures of all time, I have to
throw this out there, is this nonsense. So this is my brother. This is at our formal for high school where I thought it was cool to dress in white, and then people pointed out to me, and then my girlfriend at the time also wore white, and we were taking pictures like, y'all getting married? And I'm like, oh yeah. It kind of did look like that. But this is ugly, like it looks so bad. Right now, I cringe every time I look at this. And that's my brother everywhere, the guy who's like way taller than me and way cooler and the nicest person in the whole planet. He's a computer animator, everybody. And he's a salsa dancing.
He animates computers?
So he's well, he's like, he does like kids shows and stuff like that.
Yeah, man, nice.
Like, which is cool stuff. And he rock climbs and jumps out of airplanes. Just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah, my brother jumps out of airplanes. What the hell's wrong with our brothers? I have some. Go ahead, yeah.
No, it's weird because
I would never do that.
No, I
don't think, especially now with kids. All right, so this is my neighbor. He built this Portuguese guy. Come on, chicken coop. We just talked about this. This is, thank God it's across the street from me.
Yes.
But we saw this man building this, and he's a great guy. And he's fantastic. He has a family and everything. But he was building something on the weekend, and the wife and I were like, is this man building a chicken coop? So we had a discussion here on the show before about whether or not chickens are allowed to run wild here in Toronto. Apparently they are. And I've known that they were in where I am anyways. And there it is right there. This man is building what looks to be a chicken coop. When he was building it, and I'm going to talk to him tonight if I see him, I thought it was something because he has young kids. So I thought he was building like a
like a tree.
Yeah, like a tree house. Exactly. You know, and then now it looks like Marissa says confirmed, man. So I don't know if she's talked to him or not, but wow. Get ready for some chicken. That's
Eggs, baby.
That's what I'm going to be. All of a sudden, me and this man are going to be very, very tight on all of that. Yeah, because
they're expensive.
Yeah, they are.
He's not here anymore.
Yeah. Well,
I looked over because I was gonna they're expensive. Schiff eats 15 eggs a day.
Yeah.
And that's not easy.
Yeah, chicken coop. Isn't it silent? It's not chicken coop, is it?
Did I say coop?
Yeah. No. Someone in the chat was wondering. I don't know what the proper. I think it's coup. Chicken coup. I don't know. Maybe it's Coop. Cooper.
No, look.
All right,
I'm pretty sure I say Coop.
I'm gonna go. Let's look at Yum Brands here let's look at Yum Brands.
Isn't a coup like anyways? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, a coup is like you're building up a coup against somebody, right? But look at this, man. Everyone must be loving chicken these days. Here's Yum Brands. Shout out to KFC right here as Yum Brands making a move here in the last little while. Nice, good for them. Up 1.34%. Of course, let's check out what Yum C is doing. This is the China version of Yum Brands here. KFC, Taco Bell. And of course, what I'm drinking right here, shout out to Camp Day. Right there, buy some coffee from Tim Hortons these days. Everyone's like, oh, buy Canadian, buy Tim Hortons. Well, they're American. So Restaurant Brands International right here came in and bought them. I thought it was RBI, but maybe it's QSR. QSR, what am I talking about? Yeah, QSR right there. There it is. Restaurant Brands International bought Tim Hortons years and years ago. That was a great trade. That was a great trade on the Tim Hortons D-list. But anyways, Restaurant Brands not doing too much. Also, parent company of your favorite food, the Whopper there, a Burger King, and then also parent company of Popeye's Chicken. So
I actually can't.
Which franchise would you rather have? Popeyes, Burger King, or Tim Hortons?
Can I have Tim Hortons in the past?
No.
No. Okay, then Popeyes.
Popeyes. So moving forward, Popeyes. I'll still take Timmy's.
Yeah, look.
I like Popeyes though. I feel like there's a lot of competition in the chicken space.
No, it is, and it's probably not even the best pick. I have a beef with Tim Hortons because if you're Canadian, you understand this. There was a point which they changed their beef supplier, like maybe a decade or so ago. It could have even been longer, and it's not the same. And it was McDonald's, I believe, here picked up. Whoever it was a supplier that they used to have.
I don't want to pay those Colombian prices.
And I just like McDonald's coffee here in Canada more than I like Tim Hortons coffee. And it's just how it is, and I'm going to hate on it. But you can't hate on Tesla right now because it just broke the high of the day.
Oh, yeah.
So Tesla, as a lot of people in the chat like to call it Tesla, just another high of the day break. So we're not going to see the volume weighted average price again. Let's throw that out the window. Not going to happen. Where is this gap? Wow, 312. That's really the gap. The gap is to 312 here. It's only 250. There's plenty of time to go. Maybe Bitcoin gets up there, but this one looks really, really super strong. Let's play it back into any reasonable dip into the prior high area 307. I think is going to be worth it. Maybe a 310 break as well, because there could be some size up there. That's I remember the last time, I don't remember the price it was at, but the last time there was like an obvious afternoon even dollar Tesla's doing this break, it ended up being pretty good. So if it gets to 310, I think that's worth it. But I'd rather try to get some kind of a dip on trend. I kind of like to do this from VWAP instead of from the low. And that's why I'm sort of saying the 307 level. So from the VWAP bounce pullback, it's got like 4 connections on the 3-minute chart. Let's buy the dip on Tesla into that. IBIT, just tag 10 cents in the money, so I just took some out there. But the thing about IBIT, like the high is 64.8, so I have an offer in front of 60s, and then I'll put one in the 70s in front of that 80. And that's the plan of action. Tesla, let's get that dip buy on trend back into 307. That is the plan of action. Overall market, kind of quiet, so you want to make sure you're in something that's moving. It looks like Tesla is a prime candidate here. No pun intended, because we haven't even looked at it. Any prime?
Yeah, we haven't.
I bought
like
something.
220. Oh, you did?
Well, it's boring.
Okay.
I said yesterday I was getting a little plantar fasciitis.
Yeah.
So I needed a new pair of like a different type of compression sock.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing stuff, and like there was a deal on the ones that I like, so I just got some compression socks. I always buy something. It's something that I know I'm going to buy, and you pick it up on Prime Day.
Yeah, no, we've already talked about this. We talked about this earlier. I'll put this in the chat again in case people want to respond to it. I don't know. We're trying to find out like what people are buying here on Amazon Prime Day. So yeah, let us know what you guys are buying. But right into here, we did have some talk earlier. Apple AirTags. My dog had one of those. I don't know why exactly, but she did. There we go, Pound Town. Yeah, it was funny, the ring cam, so no one's doing it. And yeah, nothing being Canadian, says Jose Nunez right there. But okay, so yeah, Prime Day, not too much going on there. I actually went to Shoppers Drug Mart. I looked up deodorant. I talked about that. I need to get some more. And it was actually better priced at Shoppers than it was on Amazon.
Well, see, there you go.
Go figure. That's like our... I don't know, like a pharmacy, like a Walgreens or Rexall. No, they don't have Rexall in the States. It's Canadian.
That's Canadian.
Something else.
It would be like a
CVS. That's a good one. Yeah, CVS is the name.
What
I
did I
was
say?
looking for. Exactly. I don't know,
Rexall.
Neil. I don't know why you say some things. Just playing around here as we go. What is up? Savvy Canadian traders looking to boost their exposure can now tap into the Nasdaq 100 and the S&P 500. Neil and I just talked about this, man. We just looked at, getting more action in some of these indexes. You can now get it at 3 times daily levered here with these ETFs, including and featuring built-in FX hedging. This aims to amplify short-term market moves. So exactly what we've been talking about here. Minimizing the impact of currency swings. Again, very, very important as we see the rise and fall of the US dollar. Whether you're feeling bullish or bearish, these ETFs are built for active day traders ready to take on the market. Read the full risk disclosure in the prospectus, of course, at betapro.ca before investing. We do want to thank Global X there for their sponsorship. So thank you so much for that one as we continue to watch out now. But yeah, I'm excited to talk to that dude about the chicken coup, that is for sure. All right, so just going off here a little bit. Ooh, did I just see something happen in CPOP? Right there, was that going off today? No, it wasn't, was it? No, it's up 23% today. Okay, so this is Pop Culture Group here. Private placement there, fueled by some investors today. So CPOP upside down right now, only 11 million shares, not a huge mover there today. PROK, that was on our list to talk about until Schiff was like, nah, we'll go with something else.
No, we're not going to talk
He's
about
like,
kidney.
no, don't you dare.
It's only on 67 million shares.
Pro Kidney right now, up 18%. Strong phase 2 clinical trial results, right? Kidney therapy. So great. I mean, we want to champion these names as much as we can. And again, this is not endorsement of the stock, but we like to hear that whenever you get positive trial results, obviously, you get this kind of a move. Zooming back out, $4. Again, I like the stock. I think these kind of stocks get bought out. We had VRNA the other day by Merck get taken out as well. And we'll just wait to see, hearing in our ear, IONQ getting a pop.
19% short float on PROC too. So
that could go.
If they even rumor a buyout, that's shorts run for the hills. And when the biotech sector is in like M&A mood, and there's stocks with heavy shorts, there's going to be some that want to get out before there's any risk. Trust me, if you've ever been, and we know this from a bit of experience because when we owned our trading floor, we actually had a trader make a bit of an error at the end of the day and get caught in an over the weekend short position, which obviously shouldn't have happened. And I remember it was in the wrong sector at the time because there was a lot of buyout rumor within the sector. And I remember we were sitting there thinking like, oh my goodness, if this has a deal of like 30, 40%, it was going to be nasty. Thankfully, there wasn't one. But that's people get nervous. And right now in the biotech sector, you're going to see a lot of consolidation. Let's go to Adair, see what's going on with IONQ, because that just broke the high of the day.
No news, and this honestly isn't even doing 1 RVol. It's only doing like 0.84, so nothing super significant here with IONQ. I just wanted to let you guys know. Social media attention here is on this thing isn't particularly wild. Yeah, this just seems like it's a relative breakout. No, it is doing a bit of relative volume on the 15-minute, but on the day, again, it's not even doing 1 RVol. Back to you.
Yeah, somebody's been selling this at every time it breaks 47 in the last 3 days on IONQ. Sell, sell, sell. So if we're looking for what's kind of next, and maybe we'll look at some of the other names in the sector and see if there's anything else going on. Not that it's not like I don't see like Rigetti or D-Wave popping off anywhere either. So it's not like they're hitting any new levels that I've seen. But certainly this breaks out and can close candles above 47. Not just get there, close candles on a 15-minute over 47. That's what you want to look for long. It's one thing to get there, but if you can't close above, that means you don't have buyers above that price. There's a seller there or somebody seemingly taking control on IONQ at that level. So I think that makes a lot of sense. But Tesla, it just doesn't seem to want to pull back at this point. There's been no dip in sight on Tesla. I guess I didn't hit save there. So this time I will save it, and we will be able to, the next time it gets it's not really pulling back into the trend line. Like before, it's been hugging this nice and tightly every time it dips. No longer is it hugging that trend line. But, yeah, if we see anything in the quantum sector, you know what can happen when they do go. But like we were talking about, like the parabolic money was made in the early rush. Now you kind of need some catalysts for those guys. It was when D-Wave went crazy, it was because of their earnings. It was like the 2 days after their earnings. So all the names in the group kind of need something to happen for them to start going again.
I wanted to. I was just saying. I'm like now I'm obsessed with this chicken coup guy because like. I just told Marissa, I can't stop thinking about it. I was like, now I need to go make friends, better friends with this dude, because I think those fresh eggs are going to be awesome.
It's a huge win.
To have. Yeah, it's a huge win. But the thing is, I think he has a couple kids. Like, he's not a small family over there, so I don't know. And I think his in-laws live with him and stuff, or his parents or something, so I think it's definitely a chicken.
I wish my sister-in-law has. They have one.
Yeah.
But they're like literally like an hour away, so it's completely useless to us.
Yeah, exactly.
But it is great.
Oh, I know. That's I'm trying to be friends more
you
friendly
guys could do it.
with them. Yeah, we could. I could do it, but I don't want to clean that.
But
up.
that's what I'm saying. It's
too messy, man.
It's messy and it's a lot of work. And if you guys are already pretty busy, whereas I'm just sort of telling you, for sure, like their family, everybody chips in and they're all into it. But it does take a lot of work. But it's certainly worth it.
Coop. People keep saying coop, chicken coop. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Chicken coop. Yeah, I think that's right. Levi Strauss reporting tonight. What we're expecting there is EPS 14 cents, revenue estimate 1.37 billion. Last time, again, get into them jeans. I mean, they should really get Randy as a sponsor or something like that, because I mean the jorts, you can just send him one pair, show it to you every single day there. Randy loves the jorts, and Sharif was in the jorts the other day as well. So Levi company, let's just wait to see, man. Have we had an influence or not? They've been producing real well, man, to the upside. As some of these, the apparel names haven't been that great when you're looking at a Nike or a Lulu, but obviously Levi Strauss there, strong American brand, trying to break out. And to me, though, it's a little extended right now off of its 200 period moving average. If anything, you want to look for something to come up to 21%, $21. The expected move is 10%, so that gets it there. So it's $2 higher. So right now it's 10% higher. If we can get that, puts us right here, in which I would say at that point you are well away, about 30% away from its 200 period moving average. Levi looks pretty good there with earnings coming in later on today. Of course, we do have big bank earnings there. And I don't know, man. I looked at my account. I still have too much of a percent sitting in cash and cash equivalent products in the market right now. So if we're going to talk about stuff like that, I mean, the Nasdaq right now, JP Morgan. Yes, sir. It's Power Hour. JP Morgan today, this is from Business Insider, says that retail and foreign flows could inject over 500 billion into the market in the second half. So I think that will be a good, like, I don't know how much cash you're sitting on. I'm probably a little north of 10%, which is way too much for me. But they're predicting possibly just in the fact that there's money on the sidelines could add another 10 to 15% to markets this year alone, which I don't know what. Oh, here again. Here, let's just do this live. Let me
just
see.
To quickly answer.
What is the Nasdaq? Yeah, go ahead.
I was in spring training. I was over. That was in March. I was over 10%. But since then, the dip buys got me under. So yeah, I think I'm probably somewhere around 7.5 to 8. Still too much. Like it's. So it's like put a third on the way down, put about a third of the cash, which is not enough. No, but that's why I was lamenting things like that's why I talk about Robinhood the way I do, is because it's not that I didn't have cash to put into it. It was just that it's just that I didn't pull the trigger on Robinhood. So I'll keep saying that over and over again, because if you're self-deprecating about things like that, then the next time you're not gonna miss it. You're just gonna get it.
By the way, today,
reminding yourself.
Yeah, I know you got to just push the button. This is what I did today. Burke B is now in the building right now. So Burke B, the newest addition. Wrong one.
Another one.
Right there. We're going to go with Burke B right there. We've added to, we're in some cash now, right? We sold some Big Bear AI off that swing. We sold some SMR. We did things like that. All right, so here's the Jan 1. I tried to find it right here. So there's Jan 1 on the Nasdaq. Whether or not I'm off by a couple dollars on a $500 name, but it's about 8% so far year to date for the Nasdaq. So that's about right. If we add another 5 to 15, well, it's kind of 10 to 15, sorry, is what JP Morgan said there, into that market. So you add 10% onto that. I mean, the Nasdaq has returned 20+% the last couple of years. Each individual year, mined COVID and things like that. But how do I get rid? Darn it, I got to get rid of this thing. But anyways, that's what JP Morgan's talking about. I tend to believe that there is a lot of money, obviously, on the sidelines, and we'll see if that can get swung in. I mean, Neil and I just gave some examples of ourselves as well, and I think it could, give an underlying reason to the interest rates. I mean, if people keep on pumping money into the market, then yeah, is there going to be reason to cut or not? I mean, right now the Nasdaq just hovers around this. We have potential no cuts happening until September, and then even then, once that happens, then you only have 3 more meetings after that, and if they cut every single meeting after that, then maybe you'll see something. But Trump yesterday was calling for 300 basis points, which puts us down to like 1% or whatever, 1.25%. That's not going to be happening anytime soon. But yeah, the reason why I bought Berkshire again, look, man, you guys can tail whatever you want. It doesn't matter to me, because I gave you Marvell the day I bought it. I gave you Big Bear AI all the way to. I was talking about Big Bear AI when we were out of the money on that stock, and we'll be out of Berkshire. We're out of the money on Berkshire right now too, because we bought it during lunchtime, so probably even up here. But yeah, this name just getting really whapped down there. And again, big holders of Apple, Bank of America, Coke, all those kind of things. But we are all the way down here into 470, 475. There's a Canadian running the show now over at Berkshire. So we'll wait to see. Maybe that's why it's all the way down right now. Donald Trump yesterday, is this true?
By the way, CoreWeave's breaking 140 right now. It's down 8.5.
Oh, see, talk about getting those swing trade accounts Sharif mentioned.
So in the cores.
Oh, we had that at 160 at the beginning of the week.
And obviously cores is like, dude, it's crazy because like the beginning of the week was, yeah, it was a few days in a row.
It's pouring outside, my wife
One
says.
day, 2 days. It's like it's an everyday short. This feels like it's now a short till it's not. I'm sure 1 out of 4 days. I know you did as well. But unlike Circle, this one's starting to come out. And like both in both of those cases, I understand they're not the same business. Particularly when it comes to CoreWeave, though, the one thing I could never wrap I said it the whole time. I can't wrap my head around how much they're spending on CapEx relative to their revenues. And for this kind of a rally, like you're telling me, it was like 23 times their CapEx spend to their revenue annually. And I was like, I was convinced that number was just wrong. And then I checked it again. But yeah, breaking down technically, hey, this could, at a minimum, the 50-period moving average here, which is finally there. I'm
going to take Tesla 310.
But even further. Tesla 310 is happening.
I'm just going to take it. I'm just going to take it. I mean, to me, it's well overbought right now, up 4.7%. But remember, we talked about the fact that this, we coined that meme craze. I'm going to also say this is going to be a break and fake. So it's going to break it and then fake it. So fake it till you make it. And there it goes. We are now long right now. We got a good see. All right, props it up. That's exactly what we're talking about right there, man. There's the fake. I don't know. It basically called it, but it has to move down a little bit more for it to actually affect me. I was just going to say, I'm going into like a quarter of a unit. Like nothing right there. Wow. Okay, that was a really good call, my guy. All right, I'm going to, I guess, maybe buy some more.
We talked about this before, though.
Right there, yeah. I mean, we literally coined this trade.
This thing, it's like the 310 break, and we said this with regards to Robinhood and something else. It was AMD 150. You're going to take it when it does it. And if it does it tomorrow, I'm taking it tomorrow, regardless of the outcome here. And if it does it on Friday, well, tomorrow's Friday. If it does it next week is what I mean to say, regardless of outcome, I think I would take it again. So like as usual, look, I just like the prior bar on a 3-minute, which happens to be the $0.50. It just happens to be the $0.50, but that's what I want to work off of. We said we're going to take it if we got the dip in the trend or the break, so it ends up being the breakout. Apparently we have some news at the desk with Adara.
Doing much to the stock, but AAPL on watch here. Apparently, seeing reports that their early 2026 plans include a low-end iPad, iPad Air, and a monitor. Apparently, their 17E launch will signal that the phone is going to be updated every year. So again, nothing too crazy here for AAPL. I also want to mention their CoreWeave. Couldn't find any news on this. They got a downgrade from Needham this morning, but they've been downgraded almost every day this week, so nothing out of the ordinary for CRWV. Back to you.
Cores.
All right. So, look, I just want to make it clear, right? It's going to be obviously different for Neil than it is for me. This, in order for me to give back what we've already made on Tesla today, this thing has to drop $10 right now. So that's the proper for me. Like, that's what I'm doing right now. So, you know, when this thing drops $1 and we get stopped out at 308, breaking through here, 308 and change, 309 and change, sorry, we'll have given back at that point maybe 5% or 10% of what we've made on Tesla there today. So I don't know what if your stop gets hit, what you'd be like on that.
No, my stop has nothing to do with.
I don't know. I'm just saying if your stop hits, where would that put you?
No, here's what I'm going to show you. I don't care. It's the trade is 310 long, 50 cents worth of risk. First target at 1-to-1, second target at 310, and then the next one in front of the 12 level. So if it goes to 12, then I'm making an average of about a buck 15 or so, and that's about a 2-to-1 risk to ratio. That's the trade. It has nothing to do with whether I was up on it or not, because the stock doesn't know whether I was up on it or not. So like that's my mentality in a trade. I just flat out do not look at it that way. And it's like you said,
no, I don't look at it either. It was just a question asking you, like, if your trigger hits, how much of Tesla would have you given back? I have no idea.
Well, the thing is, this trade, there's no chance I like this random VWAP trade here as much as a breakout.
Right.
But at the same time, I tried like this trade. We broke it out. It was a 304.5. My stop was a little bit. I mean, it was a little bit tighter. It was about 40-cent stop on that one, and I knew I wanted to play it directly into this level. Right, like it was like this was a tighter stop to just play it into 06, but it's not. It wasn't the same risk parameter as the 310, because I felt like the 310 break. That's an even dollar break, which you're taking every single time. Now, if I'm comparing it to if we're comparing apples to apples, here's the way I would look at it. I had a 300 break on Tesla. This is the better way to look at it. I had a 300 break on Tesla, which is comparable to this, and that would have been on this day. So that same setup. If I compare the loss here to what I made on Tesla on the same type of trade, then it was like 1/4 of the loss on a similar trade, because that's apples to apples. But what I did on Tesla isn't relevant because it was a different style trade. I try to look at things in that way. Like a breakout on Tesla on an even dollar is comparable to a breakout on Tesla on an even dollar, not to like a VWAP dip price. So that's a better way to look at it. When we took the 300 break on, was that Monday?
I don't know.
What day is today? No, it's Tuesday.
Thursday.
Sorry, my bad. It's Tuesday. When we took the 300 break on Tuesday, I will give it back about 1/4 of what I made on the 300 break on Tuesday, if that makes a little bit more sense. But I don't really compare apples to oranges. It's the way I like to look at things. But I know everyone can.
No, I was only asking because we don't really discuss share size, so it was just like
that's why I think having a trade plan matters so much.
Right. And I do, right? And I think we all do. But I was just saying, like, for me, obviously, and again, you know, everybody trades different styles. I was just letting people know because people often ask, you know, how much risk do we have in something, right? And the only way to actually describe that is trying to do something like that, but that's fine. Right here, obviously, and here's the difference in trading as well, right? I'm still in this name. There goes Tesla right now, breaking through, and there it goes, man. Fire off the hot dog cannons for you Tesla bulls out there, and there it goes one more time. So yeah, just the same way, right? Like it's not a big, huge trade. We did average into it, and again, we kind of called this trade the fake and break, and that's exactly what happened. Break and fake, sorry. So there's the break, fake back in, we buy the dip, and there goes Tesla. Nicely traded there, up to the upside. So we'll get some out here as we continue to go. So there it goes, man. Yeah, no problem, guys. All right, 310, 30s, so on and so forth as we continue to go higher. I'm just in these two names, man. Nvidia here as well, starting to go higher as well, 164.50. That's coming in. I think I'm going to cash out a little bit more here on NVDA. Remember, we did get some out, even though I do like the Tesla trade. It's 311 right now. I mean, we've seen Tesla moon. It's the #1 P&L stock for me today, and I mean, we're just going to keep on doing it. But there it is right there. For me, it's similar. We did have that breakout. We did want the 304 breakout. So I was only letting you guys know that, although for me, we put on way more shares here, but that's more about the time of day for me because, you know, we do the work and I see that mosquito or whatever that is
it's a fly, it's not a mosquito.
Well. I hate
it looked like a mosquito for a second, but it's not one.
Yeah.
Like if I see a mosquito, I'm killing it. I feel no ways about it. So
of course,
if I
man. Everyone's killing mosquitoes.
What do we need them for?
There is a reason, but I don't know.
Is there?
Yeah, there has to.
Is there actually? But okay, you guys tell me in the chat. Is there actually? Is there something? Is there a benefit to humanity for mosquitoes, or can I just go carte blanche? Because that's how I roll. And when I'm camping, oh my goodness, I saw this thing. People will probably hate me for this. I saw a clip on Rogan. He was talking about this like bug zapper thing.
Yeah, yeah.
That like you kill mosquitoes with, and it's like a little revolver.
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay.
I was like, oh my goodness, if I had that when I was camping.
Make revolvers great again.
It would be game over because I'm like,
we just have one of those thermocells, which are fans.
Yeah, those are great too. I used to have one of the Sonic things that you just it was like a Sonic repellent. Like you wear it, you turn it on, and it does some weird high pitch. It actually worked, but I don't have that anymore. I don't know what I did with it. Just very quickly here, IBIT, the plan of action was to play the dip. Oh, you got away with it because I put a hand on my keys there. Flew right past me. I could have had it. So IBIT back into, it was 64 1/3, consolidated, broke to the high. There's the trend. It's seemingly like it's going to the high, and possibly it's already broken the trend line on the 3-minute. So all it has to do is take out the bar, like this bar, and prior to the high, and then I'll jump out of the trade. So again, just like first available dip buy. Technically, it was the second available dip buy because you could have had it here, but I guess I wasn't paying attention to it. We were doing the rundown at the time, but we're going to get out if we close underneath, or if we break 64, 65 here on IBIT. The next thing I want to go, killing mosquitoes to a bat is like removing chickens from your food chain. I don't understand that.
Bats, so we have tons of bats flying around our house. They eat all the mosquitoes. Like in our backyard, we back onto.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We back onto a green belt, and it's we just sit back there all day, like all night, and just see bats going back and forth. It's fantastic.
So I'm being mean to bats if I do it. My bad. I should be more considerate.
Yeah,
that's very fair.
Yeah. No, but yeah, killing mosquitoes is fine. I mean, there's millions.
I'm still gonna do it.
Anyways, yeah, so you have to get some more bats going on there. Don't eat bats or else COVID happens, right? Apparently, so you got to be careful.
Oh, that's what it was?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Okay, so yeah, we already talked about that JP Morgan. I was just trying to find some stories potentially. I did buy some more there off 309, but remember, 308.75, I mean, that could be that out. Well, that will be the out once it breaks through 308, and I think that's about to happen right now. Just not much love up there at this level. So the same thing, actually, we'll still wind up losing pretty much the exact same because we were out there. We got a couple outs, actually, north of 310, rated 2 outs up there, one at 30s and one at 40s or something. But there it goes. Looks like we're trying to break lower. The futures aren't necessarily helping this thing, but it's already up 5%. So, yeah, I could see Tesla giving some back. I mean, you have to remember something. Tomorrow's Friday, and we've seen some sort of pullbacks happening on Friday. Today's day is actually pretty interesting. Here it goes. Nope. holds again. Okay. Today's pretty interesting because not really anything from Trump I didn't hear. Like, I didn't hear too much tariff talk today or anything like that. So here it goes. We're about to get stopped out. There it is. So breaking back down below. All good on that one. We actually wind up giving back less than 10% on what we made on Tesla there today. So yeah, we kind of were setting ourselves up for that one. That's why when it popped back up there, it was like, okay, we better take something out. Look at this.
CoreWeave.
This is why you want.
Sorry, go.
Yeah, CoreWeave was Monday's play, but go ahead and talk about it.
It just went SSR. Sorry.
I wonder if there's a downgrade today.
There was another downgrade today. There's been multiple. So they've every single day since the deal got announced with Cores. Sorry.
Damn it, I should have been on that today.
Like wow, it just got SSR, which means it's 10% down, and the uptick rule is in effect. That means you can only go short by hitting the bid if the last tick was green. And sometimes you get, look, the reason we talk about it is sometimes you get these weird, not weird, but explosive bounces when a stock gets to 10% down. And if there's a relief rally, it's just more difficult for short sellers to short it. So the relief rally can be nice, but I just flipped to it because people were saying it in the chat. If you're paying attention to it when it ticks down 10%, you might have actually had a chance to get this through 37. But I wouldn't necessarily touch this. They did catch another downgrade today, but there's been many of them as a Core Scientific deal. I have to double check. I feel like it's supposed to, it's all stock anyways, but I feel like it's supposed to close end of year. So you get, I believe it's 0.1235 shares of CoreWeave for every Core share you hold. As I'm looking at this though, why is this is not moving? Interesting. It's an all stock deal. Probably have to do some math on that because there's a good chance that it might have been trading. It could have been trading at an inefficient price. And that would explain why CoreWeave just dropped and broke lows, and you're not even breaking the low of the day on Cores. But you just got to do the conversion.
It doesn't make any sense.
You just do the conversion. I just said 0.1235. I didn't do any math there. I could put it into a calculator, but that doesn't make any sense to me. Why you wouldn't have dropped harder on Cores? Interesting.
Sabadera.
Keep an eye here in NVDA, getting a bit of a spike, and this is a really interesting catalyst. So in case you guys missed it yesterday, we did have a report that CEO Jensen Huang of NVIDIA is traveling to China because they want to have that new China chip for AI they would like to release in September. Here's the thing. Apparently now we're hearing that NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang is meeting up with Trump, President Trump of the U.S. here ahead of his China trip. Now, given some of the animosity here with regards to AI, the fact that Donald Trump has announced he wants some semiconductor tariffs pretty soon, this could be an interesting element for this stock. Right now it's reacting positively, but just keep this in mind. Apparently, Donald Trump and Jensen Huang are meeting up ahead of the latter's trip to China. Back to you.
Okay. Yeah, we know that China holds, I think, the key to everything. We've talked about that. I mean, the minute we get that tariff-related news from China, you're going to see the market going crazy one way or the other. But yeah, we're going to take advantage of that NVIDIA bump up right now and just get another piece out right now. So good move there. Coming back, did you find something out about that?
Okay, so look, there's a very good reason why Cores is not dropping. I mean, a really good one. It's already trading at a huge discount.
Oh, it's already above.
Yeah, like the actual current. If let's just say CoreWeave 138.5, which is approximately where it is right now, this thing would be at 17. So it's trading at a huge discount already, which would explain why it's just not going to drop. So think of it this way: like there's almost no chance when it's that steep of a discount. Like if the fair value is way up here, the CoreWeave could just keep dropping, and this it'll follow it to a general extent, but just don't worry about that correlation. They were correlated 3 days ago when it was trading at a higher price, but now that's completely fallen apart because Cores keeps dropping. The thing about Core shareholders is they have to ask themselves the question: do they want to have? Because they don't get that conversion until CoreWeave, the deal closes in like 6 months. So if they really think CoreWeave is unwinding here, they can just get out. I mean, there's probably also ways that they could be hedging themselves, but that's another story. So they think that CoreWeave could just drop to like $50 or like $60. That's why they're so happy to eagerly sell. They just want to get out of Dodge, I suppose. Because if this does drop back down to 50, and you're a course holder and you didn't sell, yikes. Like at that point, like what are you getting out of it? $6?
Cores.
You'd be getting $6. Like if it drops back to where it was settling around after the IPO, you'd be getting like $6 on course. So I can see why some people are running to the hills. But yeah, it is what it is.
Man, this funny you guys talk about that in the chat. Like, yeah, this power hour doesn't seem to be very powering right now. This is, again, if you scan that QR code, you get 10% off Amazon, a Prime Day deal. Just got to scan this right there, but that may or may not work. But Amazon right here, I was actually looking at it. What a good day for Amazon. And it's just, no, it's today. So today we wrote down 220 for the low there on Amazon. And I actually even marked it down that we wanted to grab Amazon on any kind of negative story there today. And it was right into here. So we actually wrote that down, 220 dip buy right there. Watch out for any Prime Day stories coming through. And again, can't really trade them all, but that's 20 cents worth of risk. If you held it, you got $3. You got 300 cents. So a nice little risk to reward there. But Amazon Prime Day, I mean, I think it's probably going over quite well. I'm not sure if any of you guys have bought anything there. My wife got a couple things delivered today, she had mentioned. And other than that, though, I asked her what, and she's like, something for her, so I don't know, whatever that means. And then we got that power bank, and other than that, Neil got some compression socks. But other than that, nothing
I gotta get something
for me. I don't know. I mean...
I don't have to. It's just like...
Yeah, Dijon mustard. Yeah, what's up, Dijon mustard? Man, you can get some Dijon mustard from Amazon. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
well, not from Amazon, no.
Maybe. You know, it depends on what brand you like. Walmart's good too. Yeah, so just Amazon right now, it's at an interesting buy spot right here at 222. I mean, this could be a decent level to think about it. Nvidia is pulling back just a little bit. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin today, all-time highs. That's a face slapper right there for IBIT. We actually talked about taking IBIT through the high of the day. We missed that trade, but this is what Bitcoin looks like again. And no real... no crazy news or anything on Bitcoin. The VIX, by the way, today, as we've showed a couple times, not doing too much. VIX getting near some of those lows. Almost time to buy some of this. 16 right now, just showing the complacency in the market. Not much happening right now for that. But here's Bitcoin. I always use the Coinbase. There it is today. This is a one-day chart for BTC. There it goes, upside on Bitcoin as we continue to see this name just break out, right? I mean, everyone's excited about it, and I get it. It's finally breaking, but it really hasn't done, like if you had your money into Bitcoin, this is the whole thing that I'm trying to say over and over again, and it's not hitting for some reason. Bitcoin right here on the year, Bitcoin goes from 100,000 January 1st. Bitcoin's up 13%. It's great. It's like 13%. If you could get 13% after 7 months, that's great, especially compound that going forward. But I think those are like the appropriate kind of gains that we're looking for. I mean, and that's, we're not cherry picking the bottom here. I'm just going back. And again, you did have, again, a huge sort of tailwind there with President Trump. This is election right here, 69,000, right, at election day, and then boom, all the way up to 110, falling back into 70, 75 again, back up to 113, but, nice move higher. Look, Adair's already brought this story. Thursday, that's today, or is Jensen meeting today or next Thursday? Pardon? Yeah. So Jensen Huang meets. Today. Oh, there it is. It's right here.
Yes.
Jensen meets with Trump ahead of his trip to China. So basically, President Trump's going to be like, what do we need accomplished here from China? What kind of chips do you guys have for them? So on and so forth. So I think there's deal imminent here. Something with Nvidia, obviously, in China. We already know that they are going to, hopefully, U.S. is going to allow China to receive the lesser chips. But again, I'm not sure what that meeting's all about, but definitely Nvidia starting to spike higher. Look, Nvidia's going to need to find more buyers, right? We saw the Saudis step in there a couple months ago, bought some of those chips, so now it's going to be time for China to come in and buy some.
And the good thing about it is, this is the bargaining chip. Like, this is what the U.S. is bargaining with.
It's like the only chip they have right now.
Exactly. So it's like when you do this, it's
and all the
until you figure out a deal with Nvidia, then you don't have a deal with China.
Amazon
That's
might
the
be
best
a
way
buy.
to think about it. And someone was asking in the chat, and
rare earths one way, chips the other, and then
and
USA unlocks the consumer side for them.
Exactly. Someone had asked why Walmart was tanking or was going down. It's not tanking. Why it's down today and why it's so weak. So since Amazon Prime Day started and the numbers have been coming out, it's been getting hit every single time there's been a negative update on Prime Day. Walmart's been getting hit. And so like today there was another update. A couple of days ago we had one and Walmart sold off. It's just trading along with it. There was no other real story. I mean, it tends to react sometimes to dollar movement, but really this has been more about Amazon Prime Day disappointing numbers. And what's interesting is they've been buying, even on the disappointing numbers, Amazon both times has caught a bid when it's sold off. Like Amazon sold off, caught a bid. Sold off on bad Prime Day, caught a bid. Walmart sells off on Amazon's poor Prime Day numbers and continues selling. Why? Because Amazon does way more. That's the thing. Like Walmart, if there's retail weakness, it's going to hit Walmart way harder than it's going to hurt Amazon. And that's what's so great about a company like an Amazon, is that they have so much. People say it's like a moat around it, or leverage to pull, or whatever you want to call it. But it's just because they win so many ways, and they generate revenue in so many ways, and they're going to stick around and be a fantastic company, hopefully, for a long time. But yeah, Walmart, and when the final numbers come out for Amazon, and if it's even worse than these early ones are, then Walmart probably gets hit again, because that's been the pattern that we've been able to see, and you just got to be able to observe it. So unfortunately, that's just how it is. I see a lot of people talking about Hood. I'm going to mention we did have a dip. Like Bitcoin obviously made a high. We're back at 113.5, but it broke the trend and came back in, so I jumped out of the trade. Now you've got lower highs, and then that trend broke, so I'm not really that inclined to get back into it. It's almost 3:30. Almost time to look at the imbalances. Robinhood, to its credit, no problem. Bitcoin pulls back and has made a lower high, and now another one, and Robinhood just continues to rally, and that's sort of the good thing if you can find the relative strength. Robinhood now at 98.74. With only a half an hour left, maybe not, because this high is above. I think it got to almost 101, or actually maybe it did get to 101. It's either just under 101. So when I say 100 on Robinhood, that's a big psychological level. The break is a little bit higher than that. So it probably doesn't get to the all-time high today, because you still have to travel a bit too much for a half an hour. But clearly a little bit more strength than what we're seeing overall in Bitcoin. Go Bills. Why does the imbalance list exist? It's a great question. So the reason why we can look at, not necessarily the early look on the imbalances, but why you can see the dissemination of the market on close and market on open imbalances is the opening price, the closing prices are set by an auction. And when you have a big chunk of liquidity on anything, like if I just go to Robinhood, the biggest candles of the day, unless news happens in the middle of the day or we have a Fed or something like that, the biggest candles of the day are going to be the open and the close. And when you have that much liquidity going off at a price, knowing that the stock could move 5-10%, you want to have a controlled and non-hectic close. You want good price discovery. So they allow the input of orders, market on open, limit on open, that kind of thing, and the same thing at the close. But as they're pairing them off, it's better to show everybody in advance what the imbalances are, so that if, say, Robinhood is a gigantic buy imbalance and someone wanted to sell a chunk, oh, look, it's a big buy imbalance, I've been looking to sell, I can throw my shares in there, and we're not going to disrupt the price. And that keeps it a more orderly open and close, because as traders, we'd love it if every single day there was gigantic imbalances and crazy swings. But in the market, they actually want it to be more orderly. So that's why they disseminate it publicly, so that people can go in and offset those imbalances. Every now and then, there's just too much interest for them to do it, and that's why we point out the ones that stay large. Like the other day with Palantir. There wasn't even I don't remember, there was nothing specific. It caught us by surprise that it was that big of a sell. There was nothing we were expecting to see on Palantir, but it was so big that even the dip buyers in Palantir couldn't offset it, and it just kept selling into the close. And I think Google had a buy imbalance of that ilk, and maybe Amazon did as well. And then last quarter, Apple had one that was like that. So, that's the idea behind it. There have been changes along the way, but it's more or less been about the same for most of my career. I think, like the current iteration's been around for like 15 years, maybe. It was only when we first started that it was different.
Yep, exactly. I mean, it's been changed the way the technicals work on that. And but yeah, no, I was watching the show on that day, and when it came back in there, I bought. I bought at 131. So right now that swing is in the money about. It's not that much, 8 or 9% there to the upside. I'm not selling. It's in that account, but has nothing to do with that. I mean, we're just trying to buy some Palantir. We have tax-free savings account here. All right, NVIDIA, just getting some more out now. It doesn't look like it wants to do too much. We are watching out for that. Today we had big earnings from Delta. So, I mean, this might be a shift right now as, Delta finally starting to perform an outsized performance there, breaking through, beating on EPS, beating on top and bottom line and on revenue. So EPS and revenue beats there for Delta, and then taking this level out back from May 21st of 2024. Right there, this level of $54. Nice upside move there for Delta. American Airlines on deck. We'll have to wait to see where they go. Tonight is just Levi, though. $13 for AAL. They're up 13% today. So it's the Jets ETF, if you were looking to get involved in all of the airlines. This holds them all. And what a day today for Jets ETF, JETS, Jets. Right there going upside, 26.50 right now, almost back to great levels there for this ETF. So as oil continues to be relatively low, that's great for these names, and continues to work out higher there. And if the world can come up with some more certainties, I don't know if it can, travel is back in play now. And, especially like we were saying with a weaker US dollar, it might be better traveling into the United States. So, maybe UAL and AAL, hence why there might be stronger than, United, maybe UNH. Sorry, not UNH, United Health. Airlines, it would be something to look at as well. All right, so that was a little bit of there, some earnings to go. Levi Strauss tonight, so we'll see where they report and what's going on over there with them. But other than that, relatively light news story day today, really, as I was looking through our Trader TV research page there. Not much going on, man. We talked about crypto, we talked about Nvidia, Delta there. Alphabet, I mean, Google yesterday had that story, and it doesn't take anybody by surprise.
No.
I felt like OpenAI had already discussed a search, and I was talking to Marissa about this last night, and on her ChatGPT, she got an option or whatever to install, I guess it was maybe a widget or something, a plugin with Chrome to basically make it into a search engine using ChatGPT. She declined it, but it's there right now. So Google, nice move backside today, up through 180, I think is going to be a play for Google. So I don't know. I was about to put some more into the account. We bought Berkshire today, and we may buy some more Google. I mean, I slipped out of Google into Eli Lilly about a month or so ago, and that's been working out fine. We got this name at I think it was $7.50 exactly, actually, at that time. So we're in the money a little bit there, but out on the money on our Google decision because we sold that at 160. So not great decision there. But I like Eli Lilly just to get diversified a little bit more on that. And then we had the good acquisition by Merck the other day.
I think it's good for this. It's good for the space, man, because the pharma space outside of Eli Lilly has been trash. I mean, just ridiculously bad. But
Pfizer's been horrible.
But it's all looking much better. I still think, like all the biggest returns are obviously going to be in the smaller names that have a chance to get, like a single. It's risk to reward because if you have a single drug in your pipeline and it fails, the company's nothing. And if it wins and they're huge and they get bought out, like that's still always going to be the bigger game. But for Merck to have made that VRNA purchase, the 107 cash, it's like usually that would have sold off, and I'd be thinking, hey, it sells off and you buy it into the 50 when they sell off the acquirer, and instead this is actually breaking out on Merck. I don't, I'm an Eli Lilly person, but like if I was remotely interested in this stock, I'd actually think about it down here. But I still, I want to try to find some smaller names that could be acquisition targets. Because if Merck has made a move already, well then you tell me Pfizer's not going to buy somebody in the next couple of quarters? Probably. They They gotta do some things. Now Pfizer's making a comeback as well. I don't necessarily want to be in this stock. I wasn't it during COVID, but I don't want to be in this stock. But I want to start thinking about who they might buy, and I think that could be the next little place. And I don't really have any names on the mind yet, but I do believe it's not the last big deal you're going to see in this space at all. I see a lot of people still talking about SoFi. Get it going. Back above $21. It's off. SoFi is off from the highs of this morning, but SoFi, Robinhood, both just absolutely crushing it today. You're seeing a blowout in fintech names right now. So they're all looking fantastic. Some of it, of course, has to do with the bull rally in Bitcoin, which is ongoing, like the all-time high break. And some things are getting better continuation than others. I just think you got to keep perspective in with Bitcoin. I actually have, I had the Treasury. I don't know why I have Treasuries there. There's the Bitcoin chart. I feel as if there's all the reason in the world, if the ranges that we've put in on all of these consolidation breaks, like look at how long we consolidated, like from the time we got to 110 the first time, like you're talking about December to July. So if we're spending that much time in the consolidation range, then I respect the size of the range if it's just kind of doing the same thing. Like we're talking about 15 to 17 hour range. So I think like the move before you get like the big pullback to retest low, if that's true, then we should at least be going up to like a 125, 127. And then that like initial push, that's the halfway. That's kind of why I'm feeling something in the teens here. Because like the last time we did it, we get our push and we get like an initial, and then we come back and test it, and then we kind of grind into the top, we come back and test it. Like that's kind of the pattern. I think we can do the same thing, and why not? So I think in the next couple of weeks, we should be able to get into this 117, 118 area, maybe another retest where it's very critical that the 110 holds again. And once that happens, I think you then make a run at about 125, 127. So, and then I'll go back into the same pattern. Like I'm going to sell some because, about 24 hours ago, you heard me say, I'm holding on to, like I have a couple of percentage points of my portfolio higher than I want in Bitcoin. And you heard me say, I'm going to wait for the breakout and I'm going to try and sell that 2% off. And one of the things I want to buy is metamaterials. Well, you know what? You know what happens when sometimes you're like, I'm going to do that sell and I'm going to buy metamaterials. Well, obviously Bitcoin didn't go to like 120 or anything. We'd have sold it. So I just kind of said, I'll just stink buy and put in front of the 50-period moving average. And that's what I did. Well, what do you think I had to do this morning? Cancel that stink bid. Because you don't know. And then obviously, when I said that, I had zero reason for me to believe that there would be some DOD deal. So whatever. Like that's complete fluke. It goes more down to the fact that if you want to own something, sometimes you pull the trigger. Like I was determined to sell something to buy something despite the fact that I had cash. And so like you can say it all you want, but it's just one of those. I've never owned MP, and at that point, I hadn't really looked into whether I actually liked it at that value, any of that kind of stuff. So ultimately, I didn't absolutely love it for a full position at that price anyways, but I still could have nibbled in. I could have taken 25%, which I think is what you should do in that situation. Just buy the 25%, and then if you're not in love with it and it comes down and you want to hold it and you'd like it a little bit better in the low 20s, then you buy a little bit more at that price, and at least you're in the game. So, we learn these lessons all the time. That said, I'm not going to get FOMO over 50% when it's complete and utter fluke that there was news on this the day after. And I only looked at it because someone in the chat was talking about it. I was like, man, this is a space that I want to be in, and it's pulling back. Why shouldn't I be on this bid? And that's why it's such a great community, everybody, because it's through talking about different names and giving different ideas that maybe you look at something you wouldn't have before. Maybe you get an idea that you wouldn't have had before. And if it helps you make money, great. And if it doesn't, maybe you learn something, and then it helps you make money in something else. And that's what it's all about here. That's why I love this community, because there's so many times we're forgetting about something, or maybe we're ignoring a sector, and then we'll see you guys in the chat yelling about it. And I love that, because we weren't looking at MP, and I didn't really notice how far it had dipped until it got thrown out there yesterday. I hope somebody bought it.
Yeah, it wasn't really on my radar to do that, but CoreWeave, man. I mean, we've been talking. What's up? I got you, Jat. there in the chat. Yeah, CoreWeave, look, man, we've been calling 120 on this name since 180. In fact, I'm upset. I actually just messaged Sharif. It's like, bro, where do you locate upgrades and downgrades every morning? Because I would have been all over this thing, man. We were all over this thing on Monday when I saw that it was downgraded, or Tuesday off that Core Z deal. We shorted this thing at 162, wound up making $10 on that trade, and now today it's all the way down. So I kind of feel silly not being in CoreWeave today on downgrades when this is exactly the momentum that it has. I think 120 is where we potentially stop. I would not even be thinking about a long until we get into there somewhere. Plus, we got to see their report, right? I mean, when do they report? Great question, Sean. I love talking to myself. All right, so here we go. Let's go to details here, and let's go find it out together, okay? CRWV, we'll find out when CoreWeave does report, and that way we can get it. Now it's on SSR, down 10%, so I'd say leave it alone for just a little bit. Right there, 2025, August 14th, so we are still quite a ways away from next earnings report on CoreWeave. And remember, if you want to invest in companies losing money, I got one for you. How about CoreWeave? Right now, 0.6. They lost 60 cents in earnings last time around with an EPS of 12 cents. So an absolute disastrous EPS surprise, 400% the wrong way right there on that. So again, if you want to, if you want to find losing stocks, opportunities, but again, it has nothing to do with, I'm not throwing shade on it. I'm just saying, like, you got to wait for earnings before you can buy something. It's just, it is what it is. I mean, I have this Palantir hat that I keep talking about. Palantir didn't make money for a very, very long time, and you had to sit through it, and then you got a 15 bag.
Well, the difference with Palantir, though, is you at least you had more information about the company before it came to market than you would about, like, something like CoreWeave.
CoreWeave is an old company too.
Don't get me wrong, but like in Palantir, just having general IPOs. Sorry, I didn't mean CoreWeave in general. I just mean like in IPOs in general. There are certain situations where you have a bunch of information before they come public, and other ones where you literally know nothing, and you're just sort of you're trusting the prospectus and what information they choose to give you.
Chamath.
Yeah.
Never throw money to that guy again. All right, look at Bitcoin.
That's literally all you have.
I mean, but they do road shows.
But you're trusting what you're told as opposed to the actual numbers you get from a earnings report, which is audited and all the good stuff.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. So that's why I'm saying, like, it's good now to wait, I think. You know, we've seen ARM's giving you lots of opportunities to get in. You know, it does suck to miss those very bottoms. I mean, and again, you know, my hat's off to Jim Cramer. I was listening to it. The guy was pounding the table on CoreWeave at $40. You guys could hate him or not, but whatever, man. The guy's been loving. I mean, part of the reason why Nvidia is such a huge part of my portfolio is because I just bought it and held it for like the last 10 years. Literally, Nvidia has been super incredible for myself. And I'm trying to do the same thing with Bitcoin. But here it is, just a quick little rundown here of BTC and friends. Bitcoin is actually underperforming the rest of the crypto space, but that has nothing to do with Bitcoin as a whole, of course. Bitcoin is at all-time highs when some of these other names aren't even close. So, you know, Ethereum's all-time high is what, 4,200, something like that? So you're only at 2,800, but look at the last 7 days. Ethereum up 8%, Ripple, XRP. I don't know, what is the right thing to call XRP? Because it is XRP. Ripple's the product and the company
it's XRP,
name
man.
behind it, right? So there's, so there's XRP, 9.4%. Solana only up 5%. This is just the last week. So still great week, right? I mean, you could be down. They're up and down at the same time. Like if you click on Solana right here and check out what they've been doing, you know, all-time highs up and around, I don't even know if that is all-time high. That's not. It was 280, wasn't it? Yeah. So right there, 250, 260, Solana, all-time highs. If you go back down here, look where this name was. Like, again, back September 19th of 2023. So less than 2 years ago, $20. You know, up to 150. Like, this is the thing. Like, there's so much in all of this. Like Cardano, like when I started looking at this, under 10 cents for Cardano, and you could see where, like, look at this, 7 cents, 8 cents. This is 2020, you know, all the way down, and then boom, all the way to $3. Like, you want to talk about a name that has a lot of runway to it. I have no idea what's going to get it up here. There's about 5 trillion gazillion Cardano coins out there, but so supply is not going to be a problem, or it is a problem actually for bulls. But anyways, $3 now, 50 cents, 60 cents on Cardano. So it's not like Bitcoin. has many opponents to it. I mean, it is the one, Bitcoin right now at all-time highs. Just showing you guys that if you do get a bump up in any of the altcoins, there's a huge opportunity there to get back up to the upside. Didn't DJT just release some kind of a...
Yeah, they're in the space too.
Yeah,
they're
ETF there as well. So yeah, we'll wait to see what's going on with these guys. But right here, DJT not doing much today, down 0.6 as we get.
This was doing better than that.
The other stock I want to talk about quickly, because Webull is another name here that, whoa, look at that. Take a look at that. There's some size right there. It's 200,000 shares at 85. What you doing over there, 85?
What's Nasdaq?
What you do, 21? Would you do something for me there, 21? But you could see right now, shout out to 21 Savage, of course. But yeah, not much going on there. Webull making that move down now, down 3%. Interesting because SoFi, Robinhood today almost going the other way unless something's changed. Robinhood back looking at, yeah, see, 4% up. Good move there, and a good move for SoFi today as well that we've covered. So yeah, man, Webull, I guess, some strength coming out of Webull, and I might have made a mistake not getting out of more of that at 15. We were very, very small. We had it in the long-term account. Still a buyer of Webull. I still like the stock, but it wasn't in the swing account. It was in the registered retirement account. So I was trying to let that one go. But there's NVIDIA, man. We just got another fill on that one. So we'll fire off the hot dog cannon there. NVIDIA going to be another positive name. We've only traded 3 names today. It's been Tesla. It's been Palantir. All positive. Palantir's actually been great. Palantir's everything's off the open for me, man. We had Tesla off the open, we had Palantir off the open, and then NVIDIA, we've been, actually, this turned me green on NVIDIA, actually, so it's the opposite. NVIDIA, we went red-ish. Again, because I got stopped out there, I came back, we were slightly down, but then we bought it back and now we're slightly up. So NVIDIA, nice move there. But core, we've down that 10%. What's next?
Oh, and fallen further.
And further, yeah. What's next? I see you, Circle. You are next, actually. Circle will be the next one that comes back in. To call a time on this, let's give it a couple weeks. I would say Circle looking like 120 as well. But again, man, Circle, huge move. Reason why I say 120, that's where there's some consolidation. 3-day rule, right, after the IPO, then blast. Circle has a potential to stop at 150 again because that's where we bought them, but I still think there's a downside play there for Circle coming very, very soon. Tesla 309.
You got to make your money on those IPOs, right? Like at the end of the day, when you see something that extreme, you've got to ring the register. I don't care how, it doesn't matter how much you like the company, everybody. Here we go. A little bit of Studio 8 action. Not that you guys can see anything anymore, but there's a reason why we have this black curtain behind us covering everything because, hey, we're trying to make things bigger and better. We're changing up the show. And
I kind of don't want the curtain there.
Well, look, it's fair. I've been told that it's actually better for the sound. That's what I was told. I'm not a huge fan of the curtain, but hey, there is a lot of work going on back there. People might consider an eyesore. That said, if you want to, you got to do it. And we're going to be here every single day, and so that means the renovations are going to happen while we're sitting here because the show has to go on. That's what we're about, plain and simple. So they got the curtain up there. I'll have some fun. Curtis says, FYI, don't wear black shirts. Challenge accepted.
True.
Challenge accepted. Although, I've never worn a black shirt on this show anyway, so I'd have to go out of my way to do it. No, but CoreWeave is making another fresh low. It does look pretty nasty here for them. It wouldn't surprise me if there was maybe some kind of, like dead cat bounce very, very late, but I'm not going to be taking any shots at it. It just, I feel like it has so far to run to the downside. I'm trying to figure out who would want to buy this up. And there's a reason why I didn't take an SSR bounce on it. When you ever hear me say, I like this stock, it's 10% down, I want to take a shot at it, it's almost always a stock that's in the category of, this is a core holding in people's portfolios and a stock that people generally want to buy. Those are the types of names that I like to take shots at when they go 10% down. Not ones that others are like, how it's not worth this. It could go down another 50%. It tends to be in the other type of category that you want to make that type of a bounce play. Because at some point, typically in those types of stocks, people are going to jump in. Now let's go back to the desk before the imbalances come out.
Just be aware here, keep an eye on Tesla. I'm seeing some commentary. Apparently, the California Public Utilities Commission spokesperson has said that Tesla has not applied for any new operating permits since the first one it received in March. It's unclear how this is going to necessarily impact the stock. I need to look more into this, but either way, keep an eye on this for TSLA as we head over to the imbalances.
Yeah, we are watching that. Tesla not moving too much on that news, but yeah, Tesla can move absolutely on anything, of course. So here we go, man. Just a couple seconds until those imbalances. We'll go over and look at Tesla right now. Good story. Thanks, Adair, for that one. NQ, of course, not traded on the New Zealand exchange. NQ. There it is. So yeah, we tried it up there at 10s and it just didn't work. You guys saw me trade that that move. So we'll wait to see right now in just a couple seconds. We will get these imbalances. So here we go. Let's see what winds up happening with Tesla in a matter of 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. The imbalances are now out. It's Nvidia with the sell. Oh my gosh.
Apple.
I was just going to say, man, Nvidia is at all-time highs right now. So there's the Nvidia sell. We'll get out some more right there as it dips down. I'm just going to. You know what? Let's just get out of pretty much everything. How about that? Right now at 08. So there it is. We got out of almost everything. We'll hold like 2% left of Nvidia. Apple's a sell. Ford's a sell. Amazon's a sell. Everything's
Google.
A sell. Microsoft's a sell. Google's a sell. The TQQs and the Nasdaq is a sell. So
Walmart as well.
Yeah, everything downside right now. But AMD, save AMD, is a buy right there for AMD. So small little move upside there. And this is why Neil and I talk about this. I mean, it's not affecting Nvidia that much. What I wanted to talk about before I went to crypto was actually silly, because now that I see Nvidia, I wanted to tell you we were just pennies away from all-time high. All-time closing high of 164.43. We've already made that high today. It opened up, gave you a brand new all-time high. This is your intraday. So I am actually 10 cents away from the intraday all-time highs right there. 164.49 all-time high print there for Nvidia, put in right there. Unless it was it higher off the open maybe? No, close. Oh, wow.
Oh, that's pre-market.
Yeah, just got away with it right there. It might be. Now, it might have opened at all-time highs. So anyways, 164.50, pretty much, that's the opening candle right there. So either way, we just got hit there on a sell imbalance. And, you know, we've been here long enough, as you can tell by our hair, that we've seen, you know, issues like this happen where all of a sudden you're at all-time highs and then the sell comes in. We all know that. We saw that happen to the Nasdaq just a couple days ago and it's almost right back up. So we'll have to wait to see what happens here as Intel also a bid. Not too many bids going down. Intel $24. Was glad to hear Andy this morning from Trade Ideas talk about thinking Intel's worst days are behind them. I sure as hell hope so. We went down to $18. The same price Intel was at in 1980 was the same price it was at there, no splits or anything, back in 2025, April 10th. But again, the tariff lows are something else. Look at the NASDAQ right here. I mean, if you guys don't believe in those imbalances, there it is, right? I mean, really, really selling off. And we're the only show that might even talk about something like this. But I don't know if Palantir is
showing them. Palantir usually doesn't have an imbalance, though.
No, I was only doing that because that one day.
Yeah, like that. But that's what made it such a big deal that day that Palantir was on the imbalance locator. You see Nvidia for millions almost every day because it's Nvidia. But how often do you see Palantir for a few million? And so the day that it happened, it was buck wild to the downside. You guys all saw it. So look, it's all sells. Like you said, save AMD, which I don't even see AMD anymore. So it's probably paired off. Yeah, it's like only 600,000 now. Intel probably did as well. So remember, 355, in and about 355 is usually the first major pairing event. So like right now, it's 3.5 million to sell on Nvidia. That's the biggest one. So that's the one we'll look at. In the next minute or two, what ends up happening is you'll usually get the big pair event. It doesn't mean it'll go from 3.5 million to sell to like 0. It could go to like 1.5, 2, I don't know, but it's going to change drastically in that moment. And usually sometime in that last minute is like an opportunity to take it off the low or something like that. And then you get a little bit of a flip. Because if it pairs off completely, usually you'll get a pop back into like whatever the prior level was. In this case, it looks like the 164 quarters. It's about like 30 cents or so, but it usually happens, provided we see this pair off. It's already starting to go. 3.6 or 3.5, now 3.1 there on NVIDIA. We'll leave it up. It's the biggest one. Oops, I just clicked on CCL. When I click on this, it changes my level too. So I just accidentally flipped. I'm going to keep it on NVIDIA, but I'll let you guys see the number because it's starting to go 2.9. You'll probably see this some point jump a little bit drastically. That's what we're expecting anyways. And some people were asking about Tesla. Tesla didn't have an imbalance that I saw. It was the only Mag 7 name I didn't see on the locator.
All right, guys, we're ready, man. There's the face slapper there. We actually put the long on there for NVIDIA, thinking that we could get a flipperoonie right here. So we start to just stack. Yes, I am, Andre. We are just stacking on right now some trades here for NVDA. So, wow, it's a big one here. Whether or not you got behind the scenes look at Trade the Pool, this time we're diving in to the community side of Trade the Pool. Let's go, NVIDIA, just getting paired off. Huge, good win now, up 20 cents on that one. Each trader gets his own hub, and inside this one, you'll find Trade Talk, a powerful charting and analysis space where traders map out strategies, break down setups, and share predictions with the community. And if you're looking for real-time interaction, the Trade the Pool Discord is the place to be. It's packed with active traders sharing insights, trades, and tips to grow together. At Trade the Pool, you're not trading alone. You're joining a firm that invests in your growth, technically, mentally, and financially. Head to tradethepool.com or scan that QR code on your screen below. Again, right there, as we read that real fast, because there it is again. It's there. It's on the page. One more time. It's another one. We said we were up small on NVIDIA. No more. As there goes NVIDIA. We talked about it. We taked it. We trade it. There's NVIDIA. The flip up is happening. The flippening right in front of your face, right there. Nice move there on NVIDIA. Oh boy, another 25 cents to end of the day on NVDA. So there it goes, man. Whether or not you're at Trade the Pool or here at Real Trading, hopefully you're able to take some of these trades and watch this move, get back there to the upside. Nice trade there on NVIDIA to end the day. Just nice to sort of stack it up there. Obviously, it's not a big trade or anything like that, but we did take a shot and it worked. I mean, whenever you got real money involved here, it's nice. We actually just bought by accident instead of selling there, so let's reverse that position a little bit. So far, so good here on NVIDIA. Nice move up. It's just 20 cents, but at the end of the day, it's good because no matter what share size you guys are trading with, you'd always take a win, right? So there it goes. Nice move higher there for NVDA to end the day. And we'll finish the day at our highest spot. We don't have a losing, even really a losing trade on the board. Our last one that we did for Tesla wound up losing, but very, very small on that one. Tesla today was an absolutely rocket ship of a trade early, right? I mean, we hit that real early right there. So that's not a losing trade. Palantir, we already talked about that. Not a losing trade here. Long there. Tried it, stopped out, so that's all part of the same thing. And then this one we actually won on and then wind up getting stopped out. And then NVIDIA, as it was written. So shout out to Nas there. Queensbridge represents.
Queensbridge in the house. Looks like there was a last-minute imbalance on open, which spiked it to the upside. Remember, that's a penny stock. Do with it as you may. 5 million shares on open is that can get paired off pretty easily. Like 5 million shares on open is not the same thing as 5 million shares on NVIDIA. That should be obvious, but I'm saying it anyways. That's why we probably don't look at it, and I don't trust penny stocks that are not sell imbalances. That's the first thing. Tesla, as a few people have pointed out, yeah, there is a wall at 310, and it's not a literal wall, but somebody is selling this one up at the 310 level. Every time it gets in there, it tries to break. It has broken it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, probably 6 or 7 times at least, and every one of those has been sold off. The good news is that just means we're consolidating into this for tomorrow. The bad news is a lot of times when that happens, if it's going to be a long, it'll just be gapped up to 313 tomorrow morning. So for the day trader, it's not always good. But if it is there in this above 308 into that 310, I'm still going to like it tomorrow. Only a couple of minutes to go. Someone just said in the chat there, farm trader is very long open.
Okay.
Oh, you're long open? Hey, good for you. I'd love to know, was this one in, what was the reason you liked it off the open on open? But it is having a pretty good day. Like it wasn't really doing, it was literally flat in the pre-market. I can't think of any catalyst behind it. But once it started going, this is the value of having like an E-signal and a volume scanner. Because you could have just seen the abnormal volume, maybe picked it up off of VWAP. You get a buy and bounce at the end of the day to spike it up another, what do I get, like 6%? On open. This will be on watch for me tomorrow if it breaks $1. We like those dollar breaks, although it probably does it in the aftermarket because that's how these things like to do. Gap up in the aftermarket and then rinse people that try to get in. But I'd love to see this break $1 just for the opportunity to trade. You can see it's got like tons of size. It's on 100 million shares, so it's very, very liquid as well. We like those types of plays. But Tesla 310, unfortunately, no moss. Bitcoin, while making an all-time high, is not going to close at said all-time high. But remember, it's a 24-hour market. So it's completely irrelevant what percentage IBIT is up or down. Really, you just got to respect the fact that we are at 113.3. And The bull run is continuing, everybody. We've now broken through in every single way. The prior support, the local support, and Bitcoin's off to the races. Crypto-related names are off to the races. Fintech and all that are going to close at some of their highs as well. Shout out to Robinhood. That one's been an absolute beast, everybody. And some of the smaller ones, I see Anish talking about BITC. So, like, the whole space has been great and fantastic. And if you've got a winner, it's one of those things you kind of, like, let it ride. I'm a Bitcoin person myself, so I just kind of feel like this is what I want to be in. I have some adjacent names in fintech, but that's about it. But, hey, we're in the last 10 seconds, so get it onto Adara. Why? Because we got the close, and you should check out GlobeX and their product Beta Pro. Shout out to them for sponsoring the closing bell right there, Adara. And that's right. You don't have to go anywhere because the GlobeX recap show is on tap in just a couple of seconds whenever I decide to throw it over, everybody. So do tune in for that. That's what I love about, I feel like when people walk behind now, it's so much more distinct, right? Like Randy's not going to be able to sneak up anymore because you're not going to miss him when he comes through the shot. Like, I love the fact that sometimes I get surprised by Randy. Whatever, it's all fun. It's all fun and games. No, but seriously, everybody, what a wild and incredible day. Whether it's Bitcoin all-time highs, whether it's Nvidia all-time highs, Palantir didn't make an all-time high, but I mean, it's going close. Robinhood got very close to all-time highs. I mean, the party doesn't really stop. You just have to keep in mind all of the exuberance that I'm talking about, the things that broke. The Nasdaq was slightly down today, and the ES was up. You had a bunch of strength outside of big cap tech because it wasn't that great outside of Apple. You had some weakness in Amazon, you had some weakness in Google, you had some pullback in Meta. So you have to be in the right trades. That's what we're all about. That's why we're here, trying to focus on the things that are going to give us those wins.
I was waiting
trading opportunities at the end of the day, everybody. So Sebastian, I will keep an eye on silver. I haven't looked at that in the last little bit. I promise. And I promise when we do the aftermarket show tomorrow, we'll talk a little bit about silver and gold. But like today, you were looking at crypto, I think, for a lot of people. But you know what, everybody? The Beta Pro market recap show is about to start. It is a heck of a lot of opportunities out there in the market. And not only do you get to review them, but we can talk about things that we might find for tomorrow. It was in the aftermarket show and in the afternoon that we were talking about MP materials, and maybe some people got, maybe some people didn't. For now, let's get to the desk and take it over, Sean and Adara.
What are you even doing? This market recap show is brought to you by Beta Pro. By Global X, baby. So let's go. Right there, we want to thank Beta Pro and Global X, of course, their product Beta Pro, for sponsoring our market recap show. And what a show we have planned for you. We do have Levi coming through, the big one there. Do you ever wear those 501s?
I have a pair of cords from Levi, and I have a turtleneck from Levi, and that is the extent to which I own Levi product.
Yeah, same.
What about you?
You don't got a jean jacket up in there?
I have no, I mean, I know Beyonce's wearing the Levi jeans. She's like all over them with the ads.
Okay. So we'll wait for that. Yeah, shout out to Beyonce, Jay-Z, and all those guys.
Jay-Z.
Apparently as well. Someone that has my namesake. Apparently his name is also Sean.
Oh, he's Sean Carter.
Yeah, Sean Carter. That one. Right, somebody else has my name as well, but we're not going to talk about that. Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, boy.
You know, yeah. All right. Okay, let's go. We'll wait for Levi here. Again, did I mention that this show is brought to you by Global X? So make sure you do scan that QR code right there on the screen and get going with Global X. All right. So again, today the big story I think was Delta. We had a huge surprise there by Delta, up over 13% today, going back and forth all day. But just kind of, I was just saying that because this is what Delta looks like on the daily chart, on today's trade. Actually dips down right off there, off the open, and then kind of bounces its way up. We'll like to see 57.75. Tomorrow's trade today, maybe what about a breakout in Delta? It's a little too late to do that segment now because the market is closed, but we'll wait to see if we can break back above $58 as Delta area this morning. 50 EPS beat, guide of 175 on the high end for EPS, beating the guide of 134. So that's really great. So nice move up there. And then you see the Jets ETF also making the move up. American Airlines also with a big day
Yeah.
Why didn't I type in AAL there? AAL today up another 7% as well. American Airlines up 12%. It was the Jets ETF up 7%. There's AAL. Still a ways to go to catch up to Delta, but there it goes. That's a nice move up. The cannabis space again. What the heck? Nice move again, up over 5%. Marijuana moment or?
Well, so yeah, it was Marijuana Moment, and then it actually turns out that story was kind of older, and Marijuana Moment was just reporting it. But basically what happened was Pam Bondi, who is the U.S. Attorney General, she's been sending out letters, I guess, to these cannabis activists, for lack of a better term, I guess people who are advocating for that space. And they actually, I guess, came out and had posted their letters. So they're meeting on, for whatever reason, Sunday. So on Sunday, I guess on Monday, keep an eye on cannabis because apparently Pam Bondi is meeting with some of these advocates. I also really quickly as well want to mention Levi's. I have this infographic here on X at TTP Research. Fun little denim background. They're not out yet, but we have 5 minutes. So let's go over what we're expecting here from LEVI. Here's their annual revenue. As you can tell, this revenue has been basically static for the past 3 years. This is actually a name that was private for a number of years, went public again in 2019. But let's talk about the numbers. EPS, 14 cents per share. We're expecting revenue, $1.37 billion, not $1. So revenue of $1.37 billion. Earnings of 14 cents per share. Previous move, negative 8%. Expected move, positive, or not positive, just 10%. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there.
Okay, yeah, good little look there. I did want to quickly, we did have a big move today, obviously, in crypto. So Bitcoin, I was going to type it up here and get it up for you in just 1 second. It was a huge move there for Bitcoin today, and this is what we had, breaking through and still trying to go higher here as we call up our trading view screener right now. There it goes, breaking through that 113.5, actually still going higher. This is a daily chart, so I don't have anything on here to show you sort of, this is the 200 and the 50 period moving average, but this is what we're doing right now. It looks like we did touch base there at 114, near in and around $114,000. So a big congratulations there and a bang there for crypto bulls. As there's the move, man. It started around noon of us breaking that 11.5. You can see 11.5 goes all the way back. Nice little break there on BTC, and we continue to go higher. I actually want to get a better screener than this. Let's go to the Coinbase so we can see. There we go. A little bit more action here, letting the chart fill out. Yeah, there's 114 on BTC. Ripple. What's up, Havana Woody? He asks me in the chat, yo, what's going on with Ripple right there? So if I type in XRP, we can go over here and find out what's going on with that. Nice move there, 250, 251. This is pretty big as well. If you go over to a daily chart here for XRP, you're going to find out that, hey, it might be a bull run, but we still got a lot more to go right now in some of these altcoins there. Ripple, again, does have movement, does have reasons. Again, big for pay, international pay, Western Union there. That's what got me involved with Ripple many years ago. So I do know that they're transacting really quick. I remember a story about 5 years ago where they passed through $19 million or something in less than 1 second from one account to the next with zero fees. So we really like that move there for XRP. Solana, again, a good one as well. We can find out where that one's going. Here we go, index rate. Oh, that's the index, sorry, that's not what we want. Solana, see if I can find it there on Coinbase. There it is right now. So again, bigger movements coming here potentially in Solana as some of those meme coins being built on the back of this. We'll see if it can get going there back up to the upside right now. We do have bank earnings coming through very soon. Today's stock heat map, relatively mixed. I mean, we can go over some of the indexes. The Nasdaq did have a move down. We did have an imbalance there at the end of the day where we had sell-off in Nvidia, in Apple. I think Google also had to sell. AMD was the lone wolf buyer there. But I bought some Berkshire today. We'll see where that can go. That was down at the end of the day. JP Morgan, a nice move in finance. Every name pretty much green today. Sans Visa down 0.5% there. Nvidia up 0.75 as we get more talk as Jensen and Donald, I guess, going buddy there. Maybe they're meeting at a Denny's right there. We'll see what's going on there with Nvidia. Yeah, Denny's, of course, where Jensen worked before and apparently drew up the master plan.
Yeah, that's where they founded it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he was working there. I don't know if he was a cook or what, but was at Denny's before. Now one of the world's richest men. Dishwasher, there you go. Yeah, sounds like me at home. All right, so what's up there? AMD, 4%. My kids don't do anything. Get my mug. Yeah, thank you very much, Ramin. There, she knows what we're going for. There's Broadcom down 0.9 again. I really like Broadcom. A story this morning about Nancy Pelosi. Broadcom coming out there near all-time highs and at all-time highs for AVGO. One of the funny symbols there, because it's like, why would it be AVGO when it's Broadcom? But Walmart, I don't know what's up with Walmart today. I'm not sure I like this stock. I think that retail retail. Amazon has showed its hand and its strength there. We'll wait to see about Walmart. And again, the more deals that we get closer to China will probably affect Walmart and what's going on there. One name that I saw on the list, and Adara, you tell me why Netflix is down, because I don't really know. I think we're shooting for stories, right?
Yeah, we don't have a story on Netflix, but I noticed a pattern, because this is the type of stock that I watch, right? So Netflix, Spotify, CrowdStrike, all names that are pretty strong, especially with CrowdStrike and Netflix near all-time highs. And they just could, like today, they all just sold off, no news. Spotify and Netflix actually had price target increases, so seemingly positive catalyst. What it seems like here is just a lot of fact-checking, or not fact-checking, profit-taking.
Right.
We have Levi earnings, though. So let's take a look here at Levi. But yeah, I don't think Flakes or anything had a story. Levi actually is a double beat here at a nice little double beat.
Flaky. Whoa, get in those jeans.
Yeah, 22 cents per share here for earnings versus estimates of 13 cents. Sales of 1.446 billion versus 1.366 billion expected. Also, I did some fact checking. Jensen did work at a Denny's as a teenager, but that was not the Denny's where he founded NVIDIA, and he didn't work there when he founded NVIDIA.
There it goes. Yeah, nice little move up there for Levy there. Nice move for Levi Jeans, of course. Nice move there up to $21. As expected, 10%, 8 to 10% was the expected move there for Levi Strauss. So there it goes right now, breaking through some nice levels. So if you got that, you got that right now. That is for sure. People talking about Tesla. Yes, sir. Wow. Bang. We busted through that 310 there right at the end of the day. And it's kind of too bad because we were kind of messing with it a little bit once it broke the first time. Then actually got stopped out pretty much right here, man. We got stopped out once it broke through 309. The lowest was 308.50. Tomorrow's trade today for real. I mean, we'll have to find out if there's any headlines, but why not just why buy this thing tomorrow in and around $3.10 as we get Tesla movement here in the after hours. This is on anything, Adara? Because right now it's a nice move. I know there's a lot of people that trade TSLL. Again, this is the 2 times bull. I may switch it up, man, and just go into this one. But again, I like Tesla. I like trading it. So there it goes. Nice move up there for TSLL. And again, it's not going to look the same on a daily chart. Remember, when you're ever trading something that's levered, it's not going to be the same. Like you look at TQQ right now, right? Here's a daily chart for the TQs. Look at this. We are still points away from all-time highs of $93. But when you look at the Nasdaq, look where the Nasdaq is. This is the Qs, right? How could a 3 times levered ETF, I don't think this camera got fixed. There you go. But this TQQ different than Qs, right? So watch out for the decay in the options, right? So you got to watch out for that because it's like that. That's why we talk about Beta Pro and things like that, Global X. When you're talking about products that are levered, they're more for short-term duration, right? So you got to watch out for that. And that's why PLTU, again, the Palantir 2 times as well. That one's a little newer, so we're getting a little bit closer to those all-time highs again for PLTU. And again, Palantir, not necessarily with a story or anything, but Palantir goes boom to the upside today, trying to break through those highs. We'll see if that can happen there tomorrow. Big Bear AI, a name that I tend to like, of course, dancing around $7.14. Not much else going on right there. But other than that, man, we had some stories. We have bank earnings coming out next week. So we see a nice movement back up today for JP Morgan. So thankfully, that move continues to happen. We had a downside push in JP Morgan yesterday. I think it was either Oppenheimer or someone had downgraded Bank of America a couple of days ago in fears that maybe earnings may be going the other way. And you could see Bank of America not having the same recovery as JP Morgan. And Jamie Dimon today was talking about, we saw the move from JP Morgan coming out and saying that he believes, or some analyst at JPM, I don't know if it was Jamie himself, but
it was Jamie.
It was, okay, came out and said that there's a lot of money on the sidelines looking for a move for 10% or so in the second half here as retail looks to pile in. And again, he's got a good read on this because the clients, obviously, that they're talking with there has money to put to work. We'll see if that happens. We talk about sovereign wealth, SoftBank looking to get involved in some of this market as well. And if you want to get involved, you got to pay current prices. If there's no dip coming, then what are we looking for? I think the time is right now to get back into some of these names if you've sold off Bank of America, JP Morgan, other names like that, Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley's a little bit different because unless we get some more M&A, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, both names that really flourish and benefit off of more M&A. Klarna got shelved. We'll wait to see if Discord can come out. It hasn't been a horrible IPO season. I mean, CoreWeave over the last 6 months comes out. Circle comes out pretty positively as well. I don't know what's going on. Is Voyager doing anything? VOYG. This was a space. Nah, this one nasty. There's Voyager comes out. Its best day was its birthday, so it's got to get back in its birthday suit right now. All the way down to $42 right now for Voyager. But yeah, it was like, hey, I'm here, world. And then it was like, no, you're going back down. Go get back in right there as Voyager coming back down. And there was also Chime, CHYM. Again, not well received either. So Chime all the way back down to $30 after a great IPO day there. So maybe some of these names definitely have some worry spots there. Again, remember, this show is brought to you by Global X and Beta Pro. So we want to thank them for sponsoring the show one more time. Oil and energy, you know, I think some of the benefits there that have come through, there's reasons why a name like a Delta can go up today and some of the airlines can get some reprieve. Oil and energy costs still remain pretty low right now as I don't know. Is there like a silence right now in the Middle East? Like I'm not really hearing too much from all of that. That 12-day war sort of came and gone there. So I don't know. I feel like there's still some tension, but this is right there. This is the bombing of Iran and their nuclear facilities happened right back in here, June 20th. June 25th, these days, right into here over the weekend. And then Trump came in and said, yeah, we're not supporting oil prices. And then they've kind of came right back down into there, bounced off the 200-period moving average. Unfortunately, the Trade Ideas platform, I can't show crude oil as a contract, but USO nicely bouncing off of there as well. Crude bouncing off 64.50. That's the price to look for there in crude oil. And then, look, man, I've made this call. I just see someone saying DraftKings going insane. Why is this, Adair? DraftKings right now is actually going insane here in the after hours. We get not insane. It's not insane mode. It's not a Tesla here. But there you go, 44.60 up to 45.50 there. We made this, and again, this was tomorrow's trade today. We talked about this 2 days ago. DraftKings breaking through a level. I really liked it on the daily chart. This is the kind of stuff that I'm hunting for. It's breakouts. We had Microsoft the other day. We have Tesla. I mean, look at Tesla breaking that 304. Are you telling me that like my sticky note doesn't have the goods on it? Tesla right there, 304. If we go into like a, let's go into like a 30-minute chart. Maybe you'll see that Tesla 304.
Nothing on DraftKings.
Nothing on DKNG, okay. There it is right there, so 304. We like this level. We had to come into that right into here, and then today, boom, breaks out there on good news there. That's that 304 level on Tesla. Nice move today. Again, robo-taxis, Adair. I know that you mentioned your hesitancies on it, which makes sense. Yeah, I'd be pretty comfortable heading into it. It was funny that Waymo video that Sharif showed, I think it was a couple months ago,
wild, yeah.
where the guy was in a Waymo and it was just driving around a Walmart parking lot or something over and over and over again. But the thing about it is, even in my car, if I'm at a red light, okay, and I'm talking to my wife, my head is going this way, and the light turns green, it will chime because it knows I'm not looking forward, right? So there's, I mean, you know, they're listening and watching all of your movements in these cars. I'm not sure that's a good thing, though. That's the first thing. But I just feel like there's some safety aspects in Robotaxi. We'll hear more about it as it gets released. But Robotaxi ain't hurting this company. I actually remember, shout out to Nelson if you're watching, he messaged me and mentioned saying, you know, what do I think about Uber v. Tesla with all this Robotaxi talk? This was probably about a year ago, maybe 6 months ago. Uber really performing well on the daily chart here. I think Uber can benefit from all these lines keep reappearing. They're not mine. Neil must put them on there, and they're good ones. That was trend was broken, gap higher. So I see why that line was right there. But there it goes, man. I mean, we talk about Waymo. Uber's going to be getting involved with that as well. And it just allows, again, the business to change. You know, I don't know, for us here in Canada, I think Uber Eats is probably #1. I don't know if Skip the Dishes is around there as well. I'm not sure what Uber Eats is like in the United States, obviously a way bigger market for them, but it continues to work. I like Uber here. I think it can perform well. Their report is August 6th. I think they blow it out, but Uber, again, look how far away, and this has been some of the sort of guide that I've given myself to think about where stocks are pulling back. That is a huge move away from its 200-period moving average. Uber doesn't normally have this kind of a flyaway move, but it has right now. I like Uber moving forward. Let's just check out what Levi is again. Adair, I know you had those
earning as well.
I know you had those numbers.
And I have news too.
Okay, go ahead.
I can go to Levi's, but I do want to mention why these are cat type names are running because we did have some news on those. Levi, double beat here. Adjusted earnings of 22 cents per share versus 13 cents expected. Sales 1.446 bill versus 1.366 bill expected. Mitch Clark in the chat asking why RCAT's running. I actually do have news on this. So basically what happened is apparently Fox News reporting that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is issuing sweeping new orders to ramp up drone production and deployment. They're aiming to fast track capabilities across the military. So just more drone ramping up here in the new administration. We know they're very into drones. Of all these drone names I know to look at, the only one I'm really seeing here is RCAT that's actually moving. I also want to talk here about WDFC, that's WD40. I had notes on this one as well. Excuse me. But it's not really one that we watch as closely. It's not really an intraday trader, I suppose. But yeah, they did beat on EPS 154 versus 140 expected. Sales miss 156.91 mil versus 160.598 mil expected. Now, the other thing here is the guidance that I think is pretty interesting here. They raised their fiscal 2025 EPS guidance here from 520 to 545 to 530 to 560. Their new guide, the midpoint of it does beat estimates. However, their sales guide for the year is pretty dicey. Guiding, even with like it narrowed, they narrowed it. So I guess the higher end is now lower. So they were expecting 600 to 630 mil. Now they're expecting 600 to 620 mil. So that's not great. That's also well below estimates. So the theme here with WD40 was EPS beat, sales miss.
On SEC filing right here, I just saw this come through right now.
Bezos twice.
CoreWeave. Oh, Bezos more?
Oh, Bezos sold. Yeah, I put this in the chat. He sold on July 8th and 9th.
All right, let's have a quick look then. Okay, so again, I think we want to hear that as Amazon shareholders, right? I mean, you don't want to hear that Jeff is selling. You want to hear that he has sold. So, yeah, I just wanted to see what was going on there. You see how I just called him Jeff there? That's how he and I are, you know. Mr. Bezos to the rest of you, but I'll just call him Jeff for now. But there it goes right there. Thanks for the non-invite to your wedding there, by the way. That was awesome. But yeah, I'd love to go to Venice. You've been to Venice before?
Yeah, actually.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, how was?
Venice was chill. There's a lot of, I like all the graffiti. There was actually a lot of graffiti that I liked seeing online when I was younger that I actually saw there. So I was like, that's wild. That's a massive graffiti scene. There are a lot of people just lurking in parking lots ready to steal your money. So that's
how long ago were you there though?
I was there for like 4 days, 5 days.
How long ago?
Oh, how long ago? 2018. My family did like 21 days in Italy, so 21. So yeah, I got to.
Did you have a favorite spot in Italy? I think I got like still some water in my.
Well, okay, so it's funny. So we went to Naples because my dad has family in Italy, or like they were from Italy, and so he thought that his family was from Naples. They were actually from Calabria. So we went to Naples to celebrate that, and then they weren't even from there. Naples was really fun. Yeah, Naples I actually liked the best though. The pizza was solid. The walking was good. Like the Airbnb was very nice. So yeah.
Yeah, my dad's born in Pescara. He's a
nice. Okay.
He's a Bruzzese there, so shout out to everybody there. Okay, yeah, Calabria, I think there's more people. All right, so just quickly here, CRWV. Yeah, the story that I was gonna go with here is CoreWeave today, a couple downgrades, but then I just noticed here, and again, part of that is off that Core Scientific, the Cores deal, but that was a couple days ago, and since then we've had 4 straight down days now for CoreWeave as they put some $9 billion to work in CORZ as they take these guys out, and you can see, boom, that price well discounted right now for Cores. So I'm not sure they like that deal, and CoreWeave suffers the fate. But I just hear right now Cisco reporting a stake. So Cisco, CSCO, reporting a stake of 1.1 million. Why does them as a company own some of these shares? But I don't know. Cisco owns some shares in CoreWeave, 1.1 million in fact. So Cisco, wow, what a move. We've seen some older tech names. I mean, check out what IBM's doing. These guys also have a dividend. IBM near and at all-time highs. Any pullbacks, I really like that one. Oracle's another one that's gone up and away. See you later, alligator there for Oracle right there. Is it alligators in Florida or crocodiles? I think
alligator, Alcatraz. So alligators.
Alligators, that's right.
That's
alligator,
how I'm using
alligator.
it to remember.
That alligator Alcatraz is ridiculous. I cannot believe how fast they can get that stuff built, but we can't build anything for the homeless. You know, that takes way too long.
Also, what was funny?
I can go off on all this.
What was funny is they were. I remember they were like, "Oh, what's the temperature?" And they kept arguing over the temperature, like 62 degrees, 67, 60. I'm like, how do you not all know the temperature? Like alligator Alcatraz, like, can't you check the thermostat? It was so
70.
funny. Well, yeah, well, no, it was they wanted it to be uncomfortable, right? But anyways, it was so funny they didn't remember. They were arguing over like what specific degree. Anyways,
let's put them in cages and make everybody uncomfortable.
We don't need. Yeah, it's a very unique time.
But yeah, I've been to Florence as well. Flew into Florence, Siena, Florence, Rome. Yeah, Tuscany.
I haven't been to Siena. Florence is great.
Florence fantastic. You get the little open markets there.
Yeah, Florence, we were in the longest, and like I also like they have this pass where you can just see like museums for free,
yeah, the city
and
pass.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
So
we might do that in Boston. I don't know if we're going to do that as well. But I believe I did eat alligator one time. When we were in New Orleans, Neil and I were in New Orleans for a bachelor party.
Really?
Yeah, and they had a whole bunch of weird
Was it
fried.
tasty?
I can't remember actually how good it was. I think it was relatively plain. I don't know. Go back. Might have had some alcohol in me at that point as well. I can't remember exactly then. But fried alligator tastes just like chicken, yeah.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
I think isn't that one of the things you always say? It tastes like chicken, you know.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean,
If it tasted like today's chicken from lunch, then I'm going to pass on alligator. But
I agree.
anyways,
It wasn't really a vibe, and we've had chicken now 4 days straight. So
alligator over. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna ask.
why is
alligator
there so
probably-
much chicken?
I don't know, but did you hear that news story about the chicken coop?
Oh yeah, you showed me that photo.
Yeah, my neighbor.
From
I'm
your
gonna go.
neighbor,
Yeah, soon to be real good friends with that guy. We're gonna go figure out what kind of egg, you know, how many chickens first of all, and if you guys are watching this, like, how many eggs does one chicken lay, you know, per week? You know, because I'm just trying to figure out if this guy's gonna have any extras or not. How many chickens are gonna be there? Thankfully, he's across the road. So I don't know how loud chickens are, but I live in a residential area, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. But okay, let's keep going on. This show also brought to you by Global X. Don't forget that with Beta Pro. Make sure you do scan that QR code, not that one, but go find one in our description, link in description right now for that. So, all right, man, it's been, again, a pretty good day here so far. GLD, again, as we watch out for Bitcoin, gold making a move a little bit today, up 0.2. Kind of relatively flat, actually, as we see this pull right back into the 50-period moving average. Let's do a quick little check-in on Bitcoin again. Bitcoin, see what that's doing. As we get ready to wrap this show up, I want to thank everybody for staying late with us again. I'm off for 7 days starting Monday, so it'll be Obi, Neil taking the reins there, Joe Adair, Sharif, everyone's going to be here, Brendo as well. But yeah, Coinbase still doing great. Bitcoin still doing great things. I'm not sure. Coinbase wasn't really having the same kind of a day today. We'll go check out that in a minute, but there it is right now, 113.5. Really proud to talk about that. Joe and Sharif very happy with themselves about their Bitcoin travel. Thank you for safe travels. I say safe travels. Thank you, Harry, for that. But they're very proud of their Bitcoin holdings, as we all should be, man. It's really nice whenever you hold something that's at all-time highs. You're pretty happy with that, right? I'm always kind of like, why don't I have more of it? You know, why did I trade in like Ethereum for random other coins? I don't know. You weren't probably in the game at that time.
No, I
Back
didn't
in
know what the
2018 and
game
2019,
was.
there was a whole bunch of drops that were happening, airdrops and so on and so forth. ICOs, so they're called initial coin offerings.
Okay.
So it was basically the same thing. It was everybody thought that crypto was going to be the next big thing, and no one knew exactly what coin, because they all came with different promises. You know, like, this is your gambling coin, or this is this or that, and we're going to fund the world. And everybody, we were dropping Ethereum. It was like, send us 1 ETH and you'll get part of the ICO, right? And so when I think back on how many ETH I sent to random things, it was absolutely ridiculous.
That's crazy.
And if I just held some of those, true story, Neil and I have a friend that cashed out 400 sheets.
What?
That's $400 million.
Oh, yeah, I've heard this
He's a year
story.
older than me.
I have heard this story. I think from both you and
Hate
Joe.
that guy.
What?
No.
Also, have you seen the video of Trump paying for pizza with Bitcoin? Because it is amazing.
Trump paying?
Yes, but it's like so awkward because
Ramin, by the way, Ramin has like a kind of a dark side.
she does. We know this. We've been knowing this.
Yeah, we've been knowing this.
We've been aware.
Okay, no, but shout out to him. He was involved because Vitaly Buterin went to Waterloo and I think it was either Western or Waterloo. I think it was Waterloo. The guy that came up with Ethereum.
Nice.
And he got involved actually at the ICO of ETH. Believe that or not, dropped in.
That's
I think it was either
wild.
50 or 100 grand at $1.
So it's like IPOs but with coins?
That's it. That's exactly what it is.
That's
Initial
crazy.
coin offering. Yeah. So that's how part of I got involved with Cardano and all that from the beginning. So that was pretty good. But all right. So that was what that was. But anyways, he's retired now. He actually moved over to Italy.
Okay, you guys,
Yeah, so I think I've told you that story before as well. But crypto continues to be a big part of the story here as we move forward. I'm interested in Nasdaq. We're going to see what happens here. We are just now about a week and a half away from many big tech names Tesla, 13 days away before their report. Then followed after Tesla, you'll get Google, and then you'll start getting Microsoft, Meta, followed by Apple, all coming through. Should be a great little run in earnings. I mean, we've already started off the day well with Levi there today. We had, yesterday, we had Delta Air, and I'm not sure we've had too many major movements there on earnings recently, but there it is right here. Nice move upside right now, up 10%. Levi holding fort. I do have a jean shirt. I'll wear that at some point as well.
Canadian tuxedo?
Canadian tuxedo, yeah, exactly. Shout out to Kendrick Lamar, who wore that on Super Bowl.
Yes, and also shout out to Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake, who wore that in like one of the most iconic, horrifying photos. You remember that, right?
I know
When they were
exactly
wearing
that photo you're talking
really
about.
awkward denim
That feels
suits.
like that was 20-something.
It was.
Britney Spears is like 45 years old.
I think she's like 40. But yeah, so is he. But it's crazy
Ask
because
ChatGPT.
like all of those like Disney Club kids, because Ryan Gosling, Christina Aguilera, what a world. But yeah, I mean, also here, guys, just keep an eye on some of these drone-related plays. Of course, that executive note there from Pete Hegseth, it's a memo
43.
on drone spending. ONDS, RCAT, and UMAC are all moving on this. UMAC, DJ TJ, or Donald Trump Jr., is actually involved in this company. He's on the board of UMAC. There's another one as well, but I don't believe it's drone-related, so keep an eye on UMAC, RCAT, and ONDS. They're the only, as far as I can see, drone stocks that are moving on this. Of course, UMAC is also aided by the fact that the president's son is on the board.
All right, getting close to 4:30. Let's just do a quick little one. It was over 2,700 of you watching right now. This is something that I used to do all of the time, and now we don't even really, I kind of keep forgetting to do it. This is brought to you, of course, by Global X. So we want to thank them for sponsoring the recap show one more time. What's up, Charlie? He's here as well. He says, have a good night to Adara myself. So same to you, Charlie, there as well. Boston Frank, I'm coming to your city in just a couple of days. So what's up with that, Boston Frank? Shout out to Green Day Dean. Really like Green Day there. So shout out to you. The only song I can think of right now is American Idiot for some reason.
Wake Me Up When September Ends.
Yes.
That's my favorite
some great
Green Day
ones.
song.
Seinfeld, that one there at the end of Seinfeld, there going in. What's up? Great album, Dookie, there as well. Have a great night, says Darwin. Yo, says Patrick King as well. Love you guys. Hold your winners. Hey, Sean, says Omar here as well. What's up, Alex? Michael Spada, Fora, what's up to you as well? Mr. Duckett says, yo, roll call as well. Yeah, Michelle Meir, yeah, what's up to you guys as well? Very, very important. Enjoy your vacations and enjoy your time with all of your family as well. Hey, because we just talked about a vacation that you went on, what's your favorite Italian dish?
Oh, okay. I really like, I'll just do pasta.
Boom.
Any pasta. What about you?
Any kind of pasta?
Oh, I like angel hair. I really like
angel hair.
I like a solid angel hair. I like cavatappi as well. Like cavatappi with like a mac and cheese style approach is probably my favorite. But yeah, I don't really like the red sauce. I like kind of those like creamier, oilier, pesto-ier sauces.
You like those?
That's what I like
sauce?
more. Yeah.
I like the
even on pizza. I can't do red sauce on pizza.
Great with seafood.
Yes, and I love that. That's it. Seafood pasta. Also, I had an amazing octopus salad in Italy, and that slapped.
You like arancini? The little rice balls?
I don't mind arancini.
Yeah, stuffed in the middle with cheese.
Gnocchi's really good as well.
Gnocchi,
yeah.
come on, man. I remember making that with my nonna, man, rolling, and she showed me how to do it with your thumb.
Oh, I've seen the the thumb rolls. Yeah, I've seen videos of like the nonnas doing
and
the
making
thumb
lasagna from scratch with the metal roller.
Grinding it
They're
out,
going
yeah.
through. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us all day today. We want to thank everybody. I want to thank Ramin for staying late, Adara for all the work that she continues to do. I want to give a shout out to Neil, to Joe, to Sharif, to Brendan, all of our guests that were there today as well. Thank you so much for adding to the show, and thank you to everybody who's part of this lovely chat and environment. Hey, man, tomorrow's Friday. Will we get that sell-off? I say no. We'll see if that happens tomorrow. And there's only one place that you can find both of us tomorrow, and that is right here. Thank you for watching, and we will see you tomorrow. Ciao.
Ciao.